it took y'all so long. Oh, we were just messing with the thumbnail.
Yeah, we just took 10 consecutive thumbnails over again. But so this is fuck. Sorry, I fucked up the actual non-live recording part. That's a new one. I wonder if people are actually watching now. We just can't tell.
Can they see it? Stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, this is all new to me.
This is what happens when Melissa's not here.
This is exactly what happens. I can't even get the shit that I work on every single day to work, apparently, when she's not here. All right, man. Well, audition's just shitting itself. Fuck. Hello. Okay, now we're working. All right. There you go. Someone was watching us during that, at least. Welcome to number 72 of From the Ground Up. If you can't see already, today we have Evan with us once again.
What's up, folks?
Evan Browder from Carpet Cartel. And let's get into some of our BS stuff in the beginning. Portcitypythons.com. You can find our shirts. Port City Python shirts, Reptiles shirts, Snakes and Beer shirt, all that good stuff. Also, as well, there are Amazon links in the description. All you have to do is click on the link and shop as you normally would, and you're good to go. A little bit of that kickback goes back to us and supports the podcast. And Evan, do you have anything to put out there? This might be like the time of year you don't have anything.
Just follow me on Instagram, Carpet Cartel on Instagram. Slowly kind of getting out of Facebook. Facebook gets on my nerves. But you find me on Instagram under Carpet Cartel, at Carpet Cartel.
Do you want to not do anything on Facebook?
I just getting too much shit, man. I be arguing with people about dumb shit. And it's Facebook just sucks you in and makes you look ridiculous sometimes, and all the political and religious drama. I just want to share pictures and like pictures of people's animals and have fun.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to be on Facebook and not be. It's not even the snake stuff anymore. It used to be like snake drama that I didn't want to be in.
Yeah, and then even all your snake groups turns into somebody will say something and it turns into a Trump conversation. You're talking about ball pythons, and I'm just over it.
Yeah, and then also you got the just got my new chondro today. How's its enclosure?
Oh my gosh, dude! I think there's a group on Facebook, and it's a green tree group, and it seems to be more, I don't want to say directed at noobs. It's a great group, but so many noobs come in there, and then they just have all these problems, and then when you try to tell them how to fix it, there's always some other noob to tell you you're wrong, and it's just like, okay, you know what? Kill your fucking snake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that goes for pretty much everything. I think in chondros, it's more, Dr. Pepper.
The official state of Texas drink.
With chondros, it's more, there's more on the line, I feel like. For me, it's like corn snake. It's like you can't really fuck that up too much.
You could stick a corn snake in a shoebox. I mean, you literally have eggs in the top of your closet.
Yeah.
Doing nothing. They're pretty bulletproof. I feel like chondros are too. It's just minimal research, or not. I shouldn't say minimal research. It's a lot of research, but it's very minimal work, really. I mean, it's not hard to set them up, but all these people want to set them up in these big, crazy ass exoterras, and they don't modify them. So the screen is it's all screen top with spot bulbs on, and people tell them, oh, they need hot spots of 92. And I'm like, yeah, cook your fucking snake. I don't know.
I mean, it's not hard, but then again, it's not conventional. It's not how you keep a lot of other snakes. I think that's why people get tripped.
I just feel like if you haven't done the research, you haven't talked to some of these people that have kept these things for decades, don't get one. Yeah. I mean, if you want something you can handle 24/7, you want something that will do fine in a 10-gallon aquarium, 20-gallon aquarium, get a ball python, corn snake, something like that.
I was having that issue. I mean, there was even someone, because I've been making a lot of videos about my cow kings recently, and there's this younger, I'm going to guess it's a girl, but she wanted to get one, and her parents were or were worried because the snake was bitey or whatever. But she said, "Can I tame it down?" All this other stuff. And I mean, even a cow king, I mean, that's the easiest snake to keep. But if you mind a snake biting you, may not be yours.
Okay, we have. Don't ever shoot me.
Huh?
We have a king snake that actually came from Barcheck. This was before I knew who this dude was. Okay, so you know it. We got this snake in, I think, 2009. This is my wife's very first snake. She wanted a king snake, and her name's Eve, little black and white banded Cali King. We still have this snake. The snake for the is tame as shit. Like it doesn't. It's not defensive. But that hunger mode is like 24/7. You pick her up and she's doing all this. Even then, when you get her out, it's like, oh, you're not feeding me? Okay, I'm gonna chill for about 5 minutes, and oh, your arm looks nice, and then just starts gnawing on you, and you're like, fucking snake. And then she'll let go and it's like, well, you're too big to eat. You don't taste good. And then back to being a calm, cool snake. And they're not. I mean, I can't say it for all of them, but ours isn't. Yeah. She's not strike happy. She's not out to leave me alone and hissing and bite you. You know, when she's in shed, she's a little hissy, but other than that, she's just like, fucking feed me.
Yeah, I don't find them to be really defensive at all. But
very, very food aggressive.
But anything that's waved in front of their face could be mistaken
anything.
for food.
Fingers, shoelaces.
Dude, I use the snake hook. The thing doesn't even have a heat signature.
And they hit it and wrap
the
it.
hook. Yeah. But it's like
king snakes are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really enjoying getting more and more of them and working more and more with them. But I mean, it's definitely one of those snakes that's happy to take its shot while it can.
I highly recommend kings. I think they're great. You know, I've always been scared. Like we got that snake in 2009. That snake's 9 years old, and I've yet to even think about breeding. I'm just so scared. You know, it's my wife's snake. What if something goes wrong? I didn't do something right, and the fucking snake eats her snake. Oh, heaven forbid. So no. Nope. She's just a pet. My wife's like, you're not breeding her. And I was like, okay.
And even since I paired up my two, which was kind of a long shot because they're both adults, but I paired them both up and was like, oh, this male and even the female will eat anything. I was like watching them close, going, I was all scared and shit, and nothing happened. They were cool. They were
at least it's not two males this time.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell kind of that it's not two males. Maybe it may still be two males. You never know. But it's not like carpets where, yeah. I mean, whatever I gotta do to get some eggs from a king snake, just to prove the fact that it's a female would be good at this point.
Right. And I'd like to work with some nice king snakes, but if I'm gonna do king snakes, you already know I'm rocking Alterna all day long. Those are just, to me, they're king snakes, but they're kind of not. Like, I mean, they are technically a king snake, but just their behavior and their eating habits, you know, there's not too many cases where they eat other snakes. You know, I've heard they do eat snakes here and there,
but they certainly eat a lot of cold-blooded prey,
a lot of lizards. But man, they just look so freaking good. You know, all the different localities have different looks to them, and oh man, Alterna.
Yeah, I don't see why those. I mean, and they were back in the day like the most impressive snake you could get before we had exotics, but I don't see why. And there's plenty of people who respect them, but there's really not that many people working with them, and there's certainly not that many kind of the newer school breeder working with them. Like there's still the old school West Texas guys going and collecting in the field. And I
think it'd be fun to go out. I mean, that's one of the pretty cool snakes in the hobby that you can actually go field collect.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think we should all rush out and like, you know what I mean? Take them all out, but it's a liter of cola.
Do we make a liter of cola?
Oh my!
What were we talking about?
I just saw that. It made me think of Super Troopers.
Yeah,
a liter of cola.
Melissa's calling me right now. Like this is a good idea.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
I don't know if I found it glitching on Facebook posting, but it looks like today's picture was posted on Facebook twice.
All right, but did you ever consider the time and that we might be doing a podcast right as you're calling?
And you're live on YouTube.
Oh shit, I totally forgot.
Why would you call about a Facebook picture right now?
This is awesome.
Why would you be worried about a Facebook picture right now?
Because I didn't realize what time it was.
All right, well,
Bye-bye.
we'll say something constructive or else we're going to hang up.
I said bye.
Okay, bye. Nice having you on the podcast. Nice of you to show up.
Woo! That's fun.
But yeah, I guess it is like we were saying before the show. I guess it's Snake Days in Sanderson.
I think it was either like last weekend or this weekend or something. I know everybody's been posting pictures and been out there, so there's a lot going on down in South Texas right now. A lot of people
trying
hunting
to find gray bands.
Yeah, I think a couple people found a couple.
I see a bunch of, if you guys are interested in gray bands, on the Alterna Folks Facebook page.
Yes, I'm in there. That's a great group.
I see mostly people just fucking with other people and putting stuff out in the road or out in the
I saw that. I saw there was a post where, I guess that's the thing that each other, and they find it funny to take things that look like Alterna, and you're hunting in these rock crevices. So they'll get like, what is it, like bungee cords, and put black electrical tape that kind of resembles an Alterna and hide it in a crack somewhere, or put it on the side of the road. And so somebody's thinking they see something and they stop and get all excited and walk up, and it's a prank, and it's like assholes. Like, that's got to be, so fun, and I can't wait to get out there and try.
And I think people think it's like you go out there and you're just blessed with the Alterna everywhere.
That's not what I'm hearing. It's a lot of work, a lot of driving. There are some rules you guys need to follow if you've even thought about doing this, because my understanding is game wardens are out there pretty strong and making sure, one, we're safe, two, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. It's pretty close to the border, so why they're out there.
Yeah. I mean, they also have nothing better to do. I'm sure they realize when there's a random 100, odd snake people in town,
in reflective vests.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference, definitely stands out. And I'm sure that they are enforcing the rules out there, and the reflective vests and all that good stuff. And I know you can't collect off the road.
Yeah, you have to. My understanding is you have to like pull over off the road, and then you actually have to like be on the cuts, reflective vest, all this kind of stuff. Have your hunting permit, your I guess a snake stamp or something like that. Like, have everything legit. You can look it up. I think it's Texas Parks and Wildlife, I think, is where you would find that information. But look it up and check it out. And if you're in the area, go out there and see what you can find. I know there's a lot of Trans-Pecos rats out there, the Trans-Pecos copperheads.
Probably mostly rattlesnakes.
A lot of lepid. Yeah, there's a ton of lepidus, which is another on my bucket list I want to find.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get out there.
And it's the thing is, like, we live in Texas. Yes, we should probably have gone out there. But then again, it's like it might as well be 3 states away at the same time.
Yeah, it's near Big Bend. I mean, it's from here. I think it's close to 8-9 hours. Like, I can drive from here to Indiana in just about the same time, just across the same state. Not even leave the state, just cross the state.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's crazy. And then also the vast amount of land that these animals cover to begin with down there. And it's like, where the hell do you even go?
I want to take some pictures, man, because I like playing with the cameras, and I can only imagine out there those rock cuts,
the
sunsets, and all that kind of stuff. Plus, to actually find some animals and photograph them, in the habitat where they're at. Like, found him in this crack. Let me take a picture of him right quick.
Yeah.
But, and I've always said if I got out there, I would never. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't bring anything home, because I'm definitely bringing something home. But I wouldn't, like, let's say I get out there and I found 10 Alterna. Honestly, if I find them in the same spot, I just want a pair. I would take a pair, and then I would let everything else, take a bunch of pictures, let it go. I'd love to have a pair of locality animals that you find. I doubt that happens that often. Some of these guys seem to be blessed with the Alterna bug and can find them no matter what. And I hear people go out there and drive out there. It takes forever to get out there. Then they're just driving back and forth different areas and don't find anything except for a bungee cord that somebody stuck in a crack. It's like, God.
What would you want more? I mean, the fact that it's your own Alterna that you picked up out of the wild, or just the fact that it's a cool locality? Meaning, like, would you be as satisfied just getting one captive born, or do you need something that is?
I see the pros and cons to both, because I think with captive born, they seem to be so many generations in. I think they're going to probably start eating pinks better than wild caught specimens, but there's got to be something to catching, these two wild caught animals. You bring them home, acclimate them, and then you breed them, let's say, the following year or whatever. And if you're successful, you first captives, you know what I'm saying? And you raised them and did it. And I guess that's how lines work, right? That would technically be your own line. So I don't know, but
that's the thing. Like, because there's so many localities out there that are famous for certain looks and alternatives. So it's like, would you go to those particular localities, or would you try to kind of find a little subset of your own to?
There's certain localities that I like. There's certain localities I really like, and I was looking at Stu's on the Alterna folks, and those Huecos. The Huecos Mountain, those localities are so awesome. And I remember seeing a Blair's. That was my first gray band I ever saw, was a Blair's. And I was like, man, that snake is awesome. Yeah. And I think having a nice pair of Blair's would be great. Even doesn't
that's
really
the
matter
thing,
where
man.
they're
You
from.
can, if you get gray bands, I feel like you got to get a Blair's because that's the classic.
It's
and then
classic.
get like a fucking Black Gap or something.
Yeah,
funky.
the Black Gaps, because even the Blair's phase, it's basically a phase. So you can find a Black Gap, is my understanding, that is a Blair's phase. But localities, Alterna seem a lot like chondros to me, except I don't see so many people just putting. They're very into the localities instead of just making mutt gray bands. Like, they don't really seem to do that often.
It's because it's the old school folks who just don't.
I think you're right, and I like that. Yeah. And and I'm into the localities on green trees. I also like the designers. High yellows, blue lines, all that kind of stuff is badass. But I like Arus. I like Beox. Yeah. I like, my Beox are assholes. They are. And then, I like Maniquaris. Just looking at this type of animal, and this is what it's supposed to look like. That shit is so badass. And so to see these Davis Mountain Alterna, or these Loma Alta Alterna, or Highway 277, all these different localities, they're just badass. Mm. And you start to see the little traits that make that location. It's pretty cool. And I can't wait to get down there. And
I know that when Stu was on the podcast, he had mentioned about the differences between some of the animals found at higher elevations, lower elevations, southern, northern, and like there's probably two species. There's probably two species that are diverged the same way chondros are, as far as like, because it's a mountainous region. So I think that there's actually a mountain that divides a good amount of their range.
I honestly feel like there should probably be three when it comes to chondros. You got your northerns, you got your southerns,
Aussies,
and then you got the Aussies. They're completely separate, and for how long have they been separate? So they probably developed different. I'm sure they're probably closer to one locale than the other, but they are now on this continent by themselves, and it's a different.
Are they apart the same amount of time as jungles are to IJs, or jungles are?
That I don't know.
Or coastals are.
Yeah, coastals IJs. I would assume, because they can be found in the same.
I don't know how science works.
I was gonna say continent, but it's an island.
It's a different continent, though.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see why you could have. I don't see why you couldn't make a fucking case for that to be a separate species. And I'm sure, I don't know if Daniel Natouche has anything.
That'd be the person to talk to, because he's out there. He's actually in those fields and looking at that kind of stuff. And do it, Dan. I see you said you want one. Yeah, Tony posted a nice one, and I've got one that's Maniquari and two that I think are possible Maniquari, but I call them mysteries. And
Tony's selling one of his green trees?
No, he posted a picture of one. And Dan said he's seen it. Now he's thinking about wanting one. I'm like, man, they're honestly, they're pretty easy. And I tell people, start them out simple as simple can get. You can get these little small front opening all access tubs from Home Depot. They're $5. The top opens, the front opens. There's a little hole in the front that you cover on the inside with some tape. And then I think it's Reptile Basics has a heat pad. Put some Velcro on the side of this thing and plug that heat pad in. It doesn't need a thermostat. It doesn't get that hot. I use Well, I got the purchase from David Brahms at S3D, and what else do I put in there? Paper towel for bedding and a water bowl.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as it gets. And now I don't even have a heat pad on. Like they're in my snake room, and I run an ambient temp, and it gets no warmer. I mean, it's gotten a little warmer since it's summertime here in Texas, but I think my ambient is running like 82, 83 at the hottest, and I have no heat on them. And they're eating fine, shedding fine, pooping fine. They do what they do.
Mm. So, I mean, that would be basically Terry Phillip method. His is pretty much 80 degrees ambient, probably 80 to 82. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Do you do night drops or anything?
I turn the lights off. Yeah. No, I don't.
But
do
does the
like,
room naturally cool?
Yeah, because it's Texas. It's hot. Yeah. It's cool at night, and I don't have anything on my window other than the blinds. And it gets nighttime and it cools down. I've walked in there. It'll be 75, sometimes 72 to 75, and they're all out cruising around. Some of them are cruising, some of them are just perched in the same spot, don't move. Some of them are just have this look up to me. I'm gonna eat your face. And I mean, they're fine. And yeah. I think they need that natural hot or warm, whatever, than that cool down. And I think, for the longest, like when we used to keep snakes as kids and stuff, it was always, you put them in here and you give them this heat pad or a heat light, and you just leave it on like 24 hours. Like, yeah, they need heat. They're cold blooded. That's not the case. But I love them, man. Green Trees and Alterna. And
I think it was Bill Stiegel who we had on who said that he did a night drop for his chondros. So, and then I was like, fuck, I must be doing something wrong. Cause I just put it 85 all day, 75 on the cool spot and let it ride. But there's probably something to it. But
me. That's what.
Yeah, I would need to put up a timer. Maybe I'd go to like 75 at night or something on the hot spot, or I don't know.
I kind of feel like people overthink a lot of it. Like honestly, I mean, with they're different snakes, of course, and require different stuff. But all this the arguing back and forth about spraying and whether to spray or not to spray and how often to spray and does it really cause RI, and dude, okay. I put a water bowl in there. I change my water every 4 to 5 days. And then when I'm changing it, I take a little bit of the old water and dump it on the floor, of their cage, clean the bowl, put new water in. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I do that once a week, really. So, I mean, that's how I do that. And then when I feed them, of course, I thaw out the rodents. Oh, I put them directly in water and thaw them out. And then I feed them soaking wet. Like as wet as it can get, I just feed it wet. And, I have no issues. Everybody's shedding fine now. I've got everything tuned in to where I'm getting full sheds on everything.
See, that's what I used to do until my green trees started looking dehydrated. And now I think it just may because he's in the living room and the TV is always on and he just kind of faces away from us and clearly doesn't want to mess with us, especially during the day.
We can fix that.
Well, I'm saying I may bring him in here.
I've been after Joe's green tree for a hot second. He don't need it. He likes corn snakes and hog noses and stuff.
That's true. I mean, if it keeps this up, I mean, you may have a case.
I mean, they're really not that difficult. They're just, and as the spraying goes, like I said, I maybe spray them when I notice they're in shed. I'll spray them, and that he might get sprayed once. And then the rest of the time I might dump a little bit more water. If I just walk by and it looks a little dry, let me dump some water. He's fixing the shed. That's it.
Yeah.
And I have no problems. I had the one I got Negan when he first came in and was having shedding problems the whole time I had him. And I did somebody told me to do a bio setup. So I modified my side there, everything. I put, a drainage layer, a bunch of potting soil and stuff or ABG mix and some live plants in there. Oh, he fucking started shedding. I guess the plants put off that natural, humidity and stuff. So he was shedding full and I was like, cool. And he's the only one now. I use paper towel and newspaper for everybody except for him. And he's got what's in there right now? Mulch. Mm-hmm. And I cypress. Just, same thing. Yeah. It's cypress mulch. The same thing. Whenever I change his water, I just dump it in that cypress mulch and that's that. And he's having full sheds. And I actually think he's a she. So I'm kind of waiting on this next shed to see what's what.
I just feel like things either shifted when it got to adult age and like I need to care for it differently, or put it back into a tub. I'm not sure what's going because it did so great in a tub, but
I mean, like you don't really have. I guess like those kind of tubs you have right there.
yeah,
Those simple setups. I've got 3 snakes. I've got a Biak and those 2 mysteries in these tubs I got from Walmart. I paid like $8 for them, and they're like file folders, and it's got a top on it. I just drilled little holes in the back and little in the front for ventilation. Put some perches in there. Do the same thing. Water bowl, fucking paper towel. That's it. I don't even have heat on them. Stick them up in the corner and leave them alone.
yeah. Honestly, I may try ambient when we move, just because we'll have probably 2 separate rooms, one heated all the way and
what
one
is
not.
it in here right now?
Right now, it's about
kinda,
75 in here.
It feels a little warmer than that.
Well, I don't. Maybe your thermometers
maybe
are
I'm
off.
just
I don't know.
I think I'm just that fat on me.
Right.
I'm a little warm right now. Shit.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, but the sun beats down in this room, so it gets a little bit warmer. But in the whole place, it's about 74. Probably in here, a couple degrees warmer. In the ambient room, it's about from 80 to 82. Will swing during the day. Sometimes I'll open the door up, and that's where we incubate eggs. That's where we keep all the corn snake adults and that. But I think that going forward in Philly, we're going to have an ambient room, and we're going to have a room that stays more in the 70s.
I think we should
with
take a vote, personally. I think Theportcitypythons needs to stay in Texas. Shit.
Trust me, my life would be a lot easier if we
Because
just
it's
stayed in
already
Texas.
weird. You're called Port City Pythons. You
Well,
don't
it's
really
already
do too many pythons. You're not even on a port city anywhere. Like,
Mhm.
but no, man, it's been fun. Dude, I don't want y'all to leave.
I know, and this is
Kidnap
like
Dixie.
there's really not many better places to live for people like us than
But y'all got
right here.
It's cool though because y'all get up there with fucking cheesesteaks and shit. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like that's like if there's anywhere else to live for someone who keeps Morelia and just snakes in general and can hit all the shows, it's there too. Because I mean, Texas is great, but in order to hit some of the shows and in order to hit Herp's Conroe, that's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, because it is like I think it's 3 hours, 4 hours. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a pain in the ass when you look at it. It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Because it's a drive. But you go an hour past that and you're at the beach. I mean,
It's true.
dude, like it's kind of a win-win. I'm gonna go check out some snakes. I'm done with the show. I got a couple hours to kill. Let's go to the beach.
I
mean,
think that's why if I ever go to Daytona, I mean, it will be solely because the fact that the beach is there. Plus,
I just want to go
you
hang
know,
out
it
with
seems
Ian.
pretty
Man.
decent.
I like Ian. That's my buddy. I want to go hang out with Ian.
That's true. We need to let's go down there for Carpet Fest.
Yes.
Carpet Fest.
Find out when that's going to be and what's going on. And,
Hopefully during the winter, so I could take a break
man,
from all that shit.
I'm gonna
It'd be
need some
nice
help for
weather.
Carpet Fest this year. I want to make it to the OG, man. I was kind of upset I had to miss this last one, but I'm gonna get up there. But
We'll be
should've
there.
Been here and
We'll
Bill
be there
broke his
next
ankle
year.
or whatever. I don't know. Him and Scally, who knows what happened this year.
But I mean, there's just so many people in this area.
There are
And,
a lot of folks here.
It'll be
A
sad.
lot of
to-
chondro folks.
Are you going to the dinner on Wednesday?
No, I've got plans already. And somebody I think Tony just messaged me about that. And Brandon's coming in, but I've already got plans and kind of can't cancel those. Otherwise, I would. But
Yeah. That's kind of just
Sucks.
some weird inside talk that no one knows what we're
Everyone's like,
talking
"What the
about.
fuck?"
Yeah.
Now we got a buddy coming in. Oh, he was on here, right?
Mhm.
Brandon Sander.
So Brandon's from San Antonio and he's just coming through Dallas. I guess that's the thing about Texas too. It's like there may be a reason why you're in San Antonio randomly or Houston randomly or someone else is in Dallas randomly. So it's like you all get to hang out with each other because there's really like,
And it's-
especially Morelia people in every
Yeah.
one of the big cities.
It's fun too because I kind of want to reach out to some of these guys that aren't Morelia. You know what I mean? There's a lot of snake folks in Texas, and some of them
Mhm.
are pretty local, but we don't really. I mean, we talk to them on Facebook and stuff. Like, I want to get and have a dinner with some of these alternative, like Stu and some of these other guys. I think would be fun to talk to and pick their brains and do the same thing we do, just with
Yeah.
some of that old school folks, and
Yeah. I don't think
I-
anyone's
that-
as social as our little sect of.
yeah, we're pretty talkative and fun.
Yeah, like just no one else has like get-togethers, or maybe they do. We're just not invited.
Right.
But yeah, it would be awesome to have a bunch of the guys who are, more. I mean, these are guys in Texas. We have guys who are like the non-Facebook types and people that you may see at shows, but you don't really know anything about them. So, I mean, I would love to get to know all the people around here.
Pick their brains because they're always full of information, especially those guys that stay off of Facebook. It's just like you can't ever find them, but they produce some of the baddest stuff there is floating around. The stories and just the knowledge and
I think there's something to it. I mean, in a way, we're all on social media or consuming something in some way about other keepers, and we're always changing the way we keep, the way we do things. I bet you some of those old dudes have been doing the same thing for like 25 years. That's worked.
It works.
Yeah. So it's like you really want to get down to like what works. I think that would be a great place to start.
It's kind of like they would say on NPR, what works for you, though, may not exactly work for me. And I've seen, and I tell people, well, you should keep your snakes like this. But I kind of forget sometimes if you're like up north, don't keep your green trees the way I keep mine. You know what I mean? Because you're probably going to kill it. But
yeah, I guess maybe you do spray up north or something, somewhere where all your humidity is robbed.
Yeah. So, I mean, that you really got it. That's where all the research comes in and knowing your animal and paying attention to your animal. I've talked about it. I don't handle my green trees unless something I feel like is significant enough for me to get him out and put my hands on him. Other than that, even when I'm taking pictures, I'm using hooks. I pull the perch out and I might just leave him on the perch or kind of coax him on to a different perch with my snake hook. I don't like putting my hands on him. I just feel like it's less stress. Less stress means they do better. Some of these people are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with holding your chondros. Okay, good for you. I don't hold mine. I just feel like it's better for the animal. And, I'm not chasing dollar bills and Facebook, YouTube likes. So to me, I want my animals to be healthy.
And you're always, I think with chondros, you are kind of playing with stress levels more so than other snakes as far as like, just you want your snake to be as chill as possible.
Yeah.
Like from their perspective, not your perspective, meaning like you don't want them to be chill when you're handling
that's
them.
That's where Facebook gets me in trouble. That's another reason why I've kind of tried to get away from because
that's where you get not chill.
I see no filter. I start to see people, handling these snakes. And like somebody posted something one day and they're like, I just got this green tree and they're doing a video and they're holding it's like, I can't get it to eat. And I don't know why it won't eat. And then how do I tame it down? It keeps trying to bite me. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like you just got it like 2 days ago.
One thing
put it down. Okay. Number one, you're not letting it acclimate to anything. You're already handling it and stressing it out. So now it's not going to eat. And you're like, why won't it eat? And it's biting. How do I tame it down? Oh, you leave it the fuck alone. That to me, I don't see anything wrong with some handling, but I don't think these are the handle me type of snakes. I mean, there's so many other snakes you can get if you want to handle them all day long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll just do me. You kill your snake, I'm gonna just sit back and watch. And the minute you post it for sale for $20 because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing, I'm gonna snatch that motherfucker. And I'm gonna show you what happens when you take care of them and leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah, I think it's hard, especially with people who have the right intentions getting into it. And they always, people ask me all the time, what's a good snake to get? What is this? What is that? Will it bite me? It's just,
I think they're good snakes to own. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're not for beginners. I don't believe that. I think green trees can be for beginners if you do the research, if you talk to these people, reach out to Bill, reach out to Buddy, reach out to Matt, reach out to Gary. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, go to some of these green tree groups, you'll see instantly. And I mean, it's these guys, Ian, these guys are full of fucking knowledge. And talk to these people, ask them questions, and do that before you go buy the cool tree python.
Well, because unfortunately, when you go to the show and you talk to the person who's selling it, they're
making a sale.
They may not give you the proper information.
Some of those guys they're just making a sale. They'll tell you anything. Oh, it's eating fine, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'll tell you right now, we were at a reptile show here recently and they tried to tell me that I was looking at a little green tree that they had. This snake was fresh out of the egg. It was probably a month old. If
like a $50
like
size.
it was small. And they're like, oh, it's like 4 months old and it's blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Who you talking to? I know what I'm looking at. That's fresh off the boat, probably in a Dr. Pepper bottle or something. It's just like, oh my gosh. And
Our
then,
sponsor.
of course, it's, covered in mites. And
this is a whole fucking thing. I mean, yeah, it boils down. And that goes to someone was like, well, this person at the pet store said this, or the girl who was talking about the Cali King was like, the Cali King only bit the guy because he had the smell of mouse on his hand.
No, sometimes they probably because they like to bite
because there was a hand there.
I wish I had known we were going to talk about king snakes. I'd have probably brought her. Like, she's just like that. She's so chill.
No, I have one in
she'll
there.
cruise
Like
around you,
too.
and all of a sudden she'll just turn around, and you'll just like, what is that?
And
you'll look down,
movements,
and
man.
she's just locked on. I mean, you don't even move. You just hold her, and it's like, you smell kind of nice. Let me just bite you, and it doesn't hurt. She just starts kind of working on you for a second, and then she realizes, hey, I can't swallow that.
But if you can't appreciate the fact that snakes are going to do that, then I don't know if a snake is the right pet for you.
Man, if you freak
Go
out
get
about
a fucking
snake
sugar
bite,
glider or some shit. I don't know.
You see, that's what's crazy. So many people freak out about snake bites. You ever been bit by a rat?
Yeah.
I'm breeding rats right now. One bit me the other day. That shit hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I see people that have dogs and get bit by their dogs and cats and stuff, and they're like, oh, it's just a scratch. That shit bites harder than almost any snake you have, unless you're messing with the
those
big
savage
snakes.
fucking teeth.
Yeah, and
unless you're messing with an emerald,
but for some reason, you start messing with little king snakes, that thing bites you. You're like, oh my god, you freak out.
Just because it's so different in the way, I think it just holds on and lashes on you. But have you ever kept Brazilian rainbow boas?
I had one. I killed it.
So don't do
that.
So
that was
tell us how you did it, and
was,
don't do that.
It was a spontaneous buy. I didn't know shit. I didn't
after
at this point in time.
Research,
well, this was pre-Facebook, and I think Facebook has really helped with a lot of things. I think it's kind of hurt a little bit too, but it's also helped.
It's helped with the sharing of information.
Yeah, at that point in time, you're looking for snakes and stuff. The only thing out there was like king snake. And so kingsnake.com, you could buy them and maybe ask some people some questions. But I had a rainbow boa, and I had it for about 4 months, and had it in Exoterra, the screen top, the lights, everything I'm against now. This is how I had this snake set up. So I think I had gotten mites, and I cleaned the cage, and I used what is it? The strong shit.
Prevenamite.
Yeah. I don't think I followed the directions correctly.
Yeah,
and I think
sprayed directly on snake.
No,
okay,
I didn't spray the snake, but I sprayed it real good, and then it's just like I felt like all the smell was gone and all the fumes were gone, so I put it in there, and I don't know. I killed my snake.
But basically, don't keep it too hot.
No research, no anything. I was just like, oh, it's from the Amazon. It gets pretty fucking hot down there. Fucking the cage is like 90 degrees. Look, everybody does this shit. But then I wasn't. Now I don't understand how you can do that kind of shit now with the amount with the technology we have and how easy it is to reach out and talk to somebody. I mean, podcasts, just the get-togethers, the shows. I mean, there's so much going on. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
or just YouTube.
I mean, you could just exactly. Like you can fix your fucking car if your car breaks down off of YouTube. Like that shit's crazy to me. But now you can't. I mean, then you couldn't do that, and so it was just like trial and error. And it's like, oh fuck, I killed my snake. I was like, okay, I don't know exactly what I did, but I probably shouldn't get those again.
I think it's something. People think it's like just an aquarium fish that you get. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. You don't have to research them. You just keep them in a tank. The pH is all right. I don't. The people just don't think through as much as we do now. Once you get like really into it,
I fucking gassed it. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what I did. I assume I cooked it and gassed it. I don't know, but poor fucking snake, man. You learn though, man. I mean, it sucks to lose a snake, but if you pay attention, you learn from that. And so my learning experience.
It's one thing. It's one thing to kill a snake, and it's one thing to kill it and then not learn
anything, and then kill the next one too the same way. But I'm not a boa fan. Rainbow boas are
Brazilian rainbow.
Brazilians. That's it. I would have another Brazilian, and I promise I won't kill it this time. But
I think I would definitely keep it on some cocoa husk and kind of keep it a little.
And I think I didn't have it as humid as it needed. I think I didn't do any fucking research.
Probably the 98-degree hot
there's
spot.
there's no excuses about it. I didn't do any research. I was excited, and the people that get on my fucking nerves now, I was one of them. And it was just like, I want that cool snake because it's iridescent, it's fucking pretty. So I bought it. You know what I mean? And it was
you know what's sad?
It's like if I did that now, all these people would be eating me alive. They'd be me,
Yeah, they'd be you.
And it's just like, because now it's like, God, you're gonna kill this snake, and I see it happening before it happens. It's like, I know I might come across as an asshole, but
you may have been a smart ass at that time too. You may have not wanted the direction.
Well, I would have listened to some people, but there wasn't a lot of people. There wasn't the way there is. If you work, I worked in a pet store sometimes, and then I'd meet somebody that's into snakes, and then we start talking snakes, and that was so, few and far between. Now it's like I can seek out people in my area that like the same stuff I like, and I've made friends like that. Carpet Fest is really you make friends, and it's weird to have Facebook friends with people that are all over the country that you'll never fucking meet, but y'all have known each other for years. It's so weird. Then when you meet face to face, it's just like you've known each other it's so strange. Facebook has changed relationship, the way we view making friends and stuff, because there's some of these people that I've talked to on Facebook that I can't wait to meet, and I need to take my ass to Tinley so I can meet quite a few of these folks.
That's really where you get together with a lot of people that you wouldn't normally.
And I'm praying to God for an ICAST too,
because
I didn't know what the first one was, and I was like, what the fuck is ICAST? And then I missed it after I realized what it was and who all was there. Rico was there, and I would have got a chance to meet Rico, and it's just like,
but wasn't there a time where you were just so nervous to even talk to people who were good at it? Like,
I would have known. Do you know who I am?
Yeah,
I'm a social fucking butterfly, dude. Like, I don't know strangers. I never have. I've never been that quiet, awkward. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, I got a question. I'm very social. And
for me, when I was first getting started, I don't know if I would just be able to message, someone who is popular in the game.
Oh, I do. I just hope they respond. There's a couple guys I've reached out to, and it's like, well, he knows his shit. I'm gonna hit him up. I didn't take Ian, for example. I didn't know Ian other than from a few chats, and I knew he kept green trees. And so I messaged him and was like, hey man, I've got this snake. This is what's going on. And Ian and Bill helped me tremendously. And without their help, like, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. And I mean, I talked to Ian so much. It was crazy. And then he came in for Carpet Fest, and, he came out, we went to dinner. So I got to meet him like face to face, and it was just, he's a great guy, man. And then, I just like Ian a lot,
Well,
some great people in the hobby.
I just like built up a lot of people in my mind in the beginning. Like, I thought that Reptiles was like some legit thing, instead of like, it's just all of us in our spare room fucking around with snakes, right? Like, it's
there's a few snake gods,
Yeah, there's a few,
but most of them are just like it's like normal folks.
But you know who the first person I actually talked to on the phone was? And it was Eugene Bissett, who is probably like a legend of a legend. And that was the only person I ever talked to. And he was like the nicest guy with talking about whatever the fuck I wanted to talk about. And it's like, that just goes to show you could literally message anyone. And I think back at the time when I was getting started, ball pythons were in a real, like, really tip-top shape, and like egos were on the rise, and like there were some superstars per se. So I would try to like message them and not get a message back. But if you are talking about something more niche, if you're talking about green tree pythons, like, I bet you Ian will hit you back.
Oh, definitely. There's so many of these guys that are just there's different for different species. There seems to be different communities
and devoted to the species,
and they are. And then, but there's always like ball pythons. There's a lot of drama inside ball python groups. The retics, there's a lot of drama inside there. Morelia, I mean, it's there. It's not as much, but it is there. And green trees, it's like amongst each other, there doesn't seem to be so much. It's more so like the keepers that keep for long times versus noobs. You know what I mean? That's to me, that's what it looks like. But I felt like of all of them, you know, Morelia and Chondros, which basically same family, but you know, whatever.
We all
But,
kind of accept each other.
Yeah,
No
and
matter
I
if
think,
you're-
you know, I just love it. I just love talking snakes to whoever, you know. I don't give a shit. I'll message anybody just to talk to you about snakes and teach me some shit.
if it's like, yeah, like there's something different about an educated snake keeper in
You know,
comparison to
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna hit up somebody who keeps Brazilian rainbow boas when I get
Brian
off of
Hummel.
here.
He is right here. He's in Texas. You know, don't do that. Well, he's been successful many years. I don't know what
I'll hit up Riley.
Okay. Yeah, that works too. Riley will actually be on the podcast, so we'll have a podcast. But I think it's actually fucking net because we may fuck it up and he may like, you know, something may happen and he's not here just because we said it. It's kind of a curse, but we can talk about Brazilians then.
Hell yeah. I'll ask him, how do I not kill him?
Yeah. How do I not put a light bulb on them? And
oh, wait a minute. Brandon got scrub eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, she dropped. See, I haven't been on Facebook.
This
really,
was
so I don't
like weeks ago. We had him on the podcast like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had dropped at that time.
Oh, did they? How did I miss that? Because I watched that
man.
episode. I might have walked off and was doing something. I think because I was in my snake room listening to that.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but he's got. I mean, that's something where it's like, if you want to know how to breed scrubs, there's like 5 guys really that you could even have the chance of messaging, and then even at that, you know, there's only so many guys who are that prolific on Facebook and shit like that. I mean, it's one thing to have green trees.
I feel like I'm missing stuff, you know.
Yeah,
because I've
you haven't been on Facebook.
I've been on Instagram like a motherfucker, man, and it's like, you know, it's just so much less drama, and I stay out of shit. I'm just sharing pictures, you know, and
yeah, Instagram, you're kind of in your own house, and like people come into your house and say, "Hey," but then they leave, or you tell them to leave. I mean,
Facebook is just like
everyone's bombarding you.
Yeah, I just don't keep my mouth shut when I should.
I think it's.
I say shit I probably shouldn't say, and just because I don't give a fuck. You know?
I could just see you get frustrated sometimes.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, yeah. You see people post stuff and. True colors kind of come out on Facebook, you know, people you meet and you forget, because a lot of these people, we don't have anything in common except for snakes. And so they get outside of snakes and it's like, oh, you're a motherfucking racist. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I want to fuck with you no more, you know?
People's posts, I can be like,
I mean, I've seen some posts where it was like, what the fuck? And then it was like, okay, unfollowed, unfriended, you know, and
like, I like your snakes.
I like your snakes, but I won't support you because, you know, but it's that kind of shit. Like, I had to get away from that shit, man. It was just like, I wish I didn't know that about y'all. You know, I'd rather just see your fucking snakes, and that's cool. Hey, can I buy this snake from you?
That goes for everyone.
Now I feel like I got to go fucking vet your Facebook to see if you're fucking high hole Hitler or some shit.
Keep some amount of shit, especially if you're doing business on Facebook. I don't care how much you think
that
you're
shit
right.
Will hurt your business.
Like, do not. I am not going to do business with anyone who has anything that I just disagree with, because that's not true. But things that I think are like morally, like, wow, you're kind of a piece of shit. And I mean, and I'm not saying I'm a great person, but there's certain things that are not excusable. And it's like, hey man, why would you do that when you're like,
I don't know.
You have something of a public.
I shouldn't judge anybody though. I mean, if that's how you are. That's how you are. Like, fuck it. Can I get that snake cheaper? You know, like, I don't know. But
because I'm sure there's people on the other end talking shit, you know, about whatever you might post or I might post. Or
I'm very sure, dude. I piss a lot of people off. And you know, and I'm over here like, I don't give a shit. Be pissed. Fuck you. And then at the same time, I'm like, I don't like him. He pissed me off. You know, it's like shit. But
yeah, Brandon said, you know, vote with your dollar. So it's like we spend money with the people that we like anyway, because luckily you get to a point where, you know, especially in something like Chondros, you know enough people to where, like, you know what's kind of going on, and you can choose where you want to. I really
like
that.
I really like the hobbyist breeders. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing against big time breeders. Like, there's a couple guys that are big time that I would fuck with. Like, you know, Nick Mutton, take a shot. I would fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick Mutton is a cool dude. Like, cool dude. He's on top of his shit, which to me goes to show you when you're not chasing a dollar and you have a large collection, it can be taken care of.
Still do it.
So I don't understand how when some people have these large collections and employees and they're putting out sick, shitty animals. Like, I don't understand it. And then you're blaming it on your customers or your employees. I mean, I don't understand it. Quit chasing that fucking dollar.
Yeah, I think everyone should
take
be
care of
held
those
to
animals.
the same standard. Yeah,
but
and there's some hobbies that suck dick too.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
of course. But you know,
and some people probably think I suck dick too. I'd keep it snake. I mean,
I don't judge you if you do.
There's a if I suck dick at snakes, I just suck dick.
Hey, well, it was both. No,
there's plenty of
cool in my book, Joe.
There's plenty of YouTube like comments about me not having enough substrate in my fucking things because when a snake shits in the substrate, I pick it up in the substrate because I don't like nitpick shit out of substrate. And then after a month, it gets a little bit
like
lower
I said,
until you fully clean it.
If you want me to change the way I do shit with my snakes, you're more than welcome to come over. You can pay my rent. You can pay my light bill. You can do my dishes. You can walk my dogs and pick up their shit.
You can do the
whatever you want to do. Whenever you decide to help out at my house, then I'll listen to what you got to say about changing the way I keep my shit. Till then, shut the fuck up. You know, now if it's something where I'm asking for help, yeah, because I feel like this snake is sick. What should I be looking for? But if you're just going to volunteer, hey man, you don't have enough bedding. Hey man, shut the fuck up and mind your business. Like. Pay my light bill.
But isn't that how someone feels when they're like post their green tree and that people are just barraging them with like your setup sucks?
No, because sometimes their setups just suck.
I know that their setup sucks, but I'm sure
it's one thing if it's adequately housed and you're just nitpicking. It's another thing if you just bought the cool tree snake and you don't even have perches, like this piece of wood that's just kind of slumped over. The snake's sitting all up in the corner, like, where's my fucking perch? And it's in a 10-gallon aquarium with 180 watt ceramic heat bulb. Like, I'm over here like, holy shit.
Does anyone else's green tree like to perch on his water bowl?
You know what I'm saying? I got this snake, look at him, and he's just sitting in the corner, and the whole thing, there's like no perch in there. Like, I've seen that. They had like a hide in there. And the snake was sitting on top of the hide, and I was like, "Where's the perch?" And they're like, "What do you mean, like a bird perch?" And I was like, "I'm done." Yeah. Like I didn't even respond to that. I had to go because I'm gonna tell you, you're fucking stupid for even getting that snake. And it's just so frustrating when you see shit like that because that's just somebody who spontaneously bought the cool tree python and like the guy that bought the cool Brazilian rainbow boa and killed it.
Yeah, you know, it all just goes around, man. I mean, I don't think people even expected animal. There was a certain time in the hobby in like the 90s where people, I don't even think importers expected animals to live. They just sold them. They were like, whatever the fuck happens, like keep everything the same, do what you want.
Well, shit. I mean, up till recently, chondros were dropping dead and people would be like, oh, it's chondro. You know what I mean? You'd have it 2-3 years and it just dies. You're like, oh, it's chondro.
Could never be a virus that's spreading throughout the whole hobby.
Now it's like fucking Nido, which is kind of, I don't even know what happened. Like it's all of a sudden it was like Nido. Now it's kind of silent.
It's
nobody's
settling
really,
a little bit.
It's still there, but nobody's really, you know, I think now that we know about it.
But it's happening throughout many captive reptiles.
It's fucking snakes, man. Snakes are some interesting animals, man. They brought a lot of good people to my life. I have to say that. They really did. I've met a lot of great people. I've met some not so great people. And I don't know. I don't know.
And I think there's one thing to like, I mean, to anyone who keeps now and like wants to be something or wants to be part of the community, it's like there's so many people who are in it like hardcore for a year or two and then get out. So you just really have to make sure that you're committed and like people want to know that you're going to be in it for more than a year or two because we see so many people get in and out so quickly.
Yeah, I've kept snakes forever, but Bill called me a restless keeper, and I am. I'm there's few animals where I'm like I'm on it, you know. And chondros is one of those things for me where I've always really wanted to have a good collection of chondros. I just was kind of scared of keeping them and wasn't sure I knew too much. Now it's like, oh, my chondros won't go anywhere. Like I fucking love my chondros. Now, if I have to sell one to make room or money to go get another one, that's one thing. But I wouldn't just up and sell chondros to go start on something else. I won't do that. I've done that with a lot of other shit. You know, I bought a bunch of ball pythons.
We've
I'm
all
gonna do
done it.
this. Ball pythons are gone. I had all my carpets, which I will get carpets again. I really got focused on green trees, but carpets will be back. And you know, but I've always been kind of, you know, I had leopard geckos. We did leopard geckos, gone. You know, it's just like,
and I think
I've
there's
been
something
restless with that shit.
there's something to say to trying things also. If
It's
you get
fun.
into it and get out of it respectively, then
yeah,
you know,
it's
you
not
could
like
say
they
that's
all
not
died
an
on me or anything. You know, we had a good collection of animals, and we just decided, okay, I'm tired of feeding shit every single day. You know, there's crickets all over the house. I go to put shoes on, and a fucking dubia roach is crawling out of my shoes. I'm just like, okay, I'm over this. You know, so it was time to move around. And so,
ooh, Brandon wants to know if you mess with liasis yet. I'm gonna pee if you can field this. I'm sure you can talk.
Yeah, no, never really messed with liasis. I'm pretty much a python guy. I'm not a big fan of boas. The only pythons I really like are, you know, carpets, green trees. I kind of stay away from scrubs. Scrubs are. I would definitely do fucking rough scales. That's to me, that's just another Morelia. I mean, it's a different type of Morelia, but it's still Morelia. But you know, some of these things are just, I don't know, man. There's just some snakes I would work with and some I won't. I don't think I'd mess with scrubs. I don't think I'm not too into the water pythons and the olive pythons. They're cool. Like, you know, he's got them and they're cool. Like I get over here and I like to look at them and take pictures of them, whatever. They're badass, but I'm just not interested in owning them. I love to go look at Tony's, you know, Papillon and shit like that. That is badass, but I don't want one. You know, it's just not for me. You know, certain snakes, I'm hooked on my carpets. I'm hooked on my green trees, and I love my Alterna, which I don't even have any Alterna right now. I can't wait to get some, but
this has been like 2 years of a restless keeper.
You know what I think it is about Alterna? And I think what it is I could have bought some, but I feel like my first one, I want to catch it because I can. I'm in Texas. I live in Texas, and I want to catch. You know what I mean? Like I want to. It just would feel like it'd mean more to me. So.
Brandon putting down the ban hammer in the chat room right now.
What was going on? What was going on?
Some kid was going crazy with some expletives, not directed at you, but I know. Just some general.
That's good. I cuss a lot.
Some general fucks.
Yeah, y'all heard.
Brandon put down the ban hammer.
Yeah. Unless he's just cussing us out.
That's all right.
I cuss a lot, and I'm sorry. I really do. You know, I didn't realize that till the first podcast I was on. We were laying in bed, me and my wife were listening to it, and I was just like, fuck this and fuck. And I was just like looking at her. She's like, you cuss a lot. I was like, God, I do, don't I? I was like, fuck. And she's like, stop cussing. I was like, shit, sorry. And it's just one of them things, man. I just cuss a lot. I tried not to. And I noticed it that I was cussing so much in that first episode that the next time I was here, I was concentrating on not cussing, that it kind of messed me up because I was just like, trying to think of my senses without a cuss word instead of just talking, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, fuck it. Like, this is me. You don't like it? Fuck you. You know, it is what it is. And let's talk snakes and hang out.
There's some kind of line there that I don't know how to like ride. Like, I don't know how much to be is myself cursing like crazy, being a fucking crazy person, or is it like, because in my YouTube videos, everything's premeditated. So I come across very clean cut and stuff. And that's just because it's off my brain.
And all that stuff. I see what you're saying. Because I've noticed too, and there's episodes where Melissa be like, God, stop cussing. I'm like, that's just, it's real. Like, this is us. Like, we're just talking.
Yeah, like me off
hanging
the
out.
brain.
And it's like, these words come out of my mouth. Like, I'm sorry. I just keep it 100. There's, you know, I've probably on some of these past episodes said a bunch of shit I probably should have said, you know, but I said it and
there's things I've said that I probably no longer agree with. And probably for both of us. That I mean, this shit isn't set in stone. We're just having fun talking shit. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, am I don't know. Am I this person that just a constant stream of?
I don't think we cross. You know, if we cross lines, the viewers would tell us. But I think these podcasts they're comfortable, they're fun. You know, I'm a firm believer. If you say you're going to do these podcasts, you should probably get up off your ass and do them. Don't, you know?
Well, that seems like a jab.
I don't give a fuck. I jab away. I'm just, be a man of your word, whoever you are.
Whoever you are.
Whatever. If it's don't just try to do somebody's podcast if it only benefits you. And so if you feel like it doesn't, you don't want to do their podcast, whatever, you're an asshole. Don't tell people, yeah, I'll do your podcast, and they reach out 2-3 times and you don't want to do the podcast, then just don't fucking do it. Be a man of your word. If you're not, fuck yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
Be mad.
Or tell me to go fuck myself straight up. But
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do it.
But I love the fact that we have the podcast and people are willing to talk to us for no reason.
I'm sorry. I was starting to get in one of my moods.
Because we didn't have any other platform to talk to. Maybe I would be more nervous to talk to, some legend in the game, to a Kathy Love, if I didn't have a podcast, so, and maybe I wouldn't ever get to talk one-on-one for an hour.
I also think like we were talking about the cussing stuff. It just like, okay, I've done your podcast, and then I did the Green Tree podcast with Bill and Buddy, and I was fucking nervous. Like, you don't even understand. Like, I was just so nervous. Like, I'm talking to these people that are very in tune with this stuff,
and keep in mind, Bill, you are very close.
I'm and even still, like, I was just so I was intimidated. I was just like, man, I hope I don't say something stupid. Like, I was real focused on what I was saying, and I was just like, I was nervous as shit. And then I get with y'all, and I'm just so laid back. I'm comfortable. I'm just like, and it's that GTP keeper. I love talking chondros, but I felt like, I'm really the low man on the totem pole in this conversation. And I was like, I'm the noob here.
And it's like
scary.
Pointed also, they're like, looking for some information.
Yeah, it's just like, God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I was like, this is Buddy and Bill, and it's just Jason Stevens. Like, am I going to say the wrong shit? Like, I was so nervous, man. And I said it. I talked to Bill afterwards. I was like, dude, I was fucking nervous. Like, he's like, oh, you did good. I was like, oh my God. I was sweating. Like,
I talk to you constantly. Yeah, right. You don't leave me the fuck alone.
I was just like, I was so fucking nervous. But it's a huge difference. Like, I get over here and I love y'all just the same, but I'm so like, I can just be myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm relaxed and I talk shit and I have fun. And I'm gonna cry when y'all got a fucking gas Philadelphia. You better send me a cheesesteak with some. What do you say with some Swiss on it?
But I was hoping that would be the point of the podcast, is that we don't always need to have the 1 + 1 = 2. We don't even have to always have the knowledgeable podcast. It could be us hanging out with our friends, and people may enjoy just listening to snake talk, whether it's drama, whether it's just straight bullshit, whether it's whatever. I'm hoping that at least a couple people are like, oh, this feels like my friends out talking, on a regular night.
And what I like is there's the interaction on y'all's podcast. Like, the YouTube is up and you see the chat and everything, and we can answer questions as we go. So that's way different than other podcasts or something where you can't just call in. I mean, I guess you could call in, but it's still, that's different. Like, this is like this is a bunch of us together hanging out, chatting, and it's fucking fun, man.
And I hope they have fun just talking to each other, and not even, because sometimes we're totally
I've been in these chats where the show is going on and the chat is way off in fucking left field somewhere. Yeah. And then I see Melissa like, what the fuck are they talking about? And we're on to something so fucking nothing snake related. We're talking about boobies and beer. And I mean, we're so far gone. And then the live cast is just the live chat's nuts. And sometimes you'll see a bunch of questions come in, and then you guys ask questions. And then sometimes the chat is just in its own little world during the podcast. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And I just hope that we can get across the fact that, like, no one knows exactly what's going on, and like no one's exactly an expert. And like, we've had so many people on, and I'm sure people and we have different views and different, things that counteract each other. And you're like, who's right? But no one's really right. We're just all trying to do our best.
I tell you straight up, don't ever take the shit I say, for granted, because half the time I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just spewing shit. But I've learned a lot. You know, I sit back and I watch and I ask questions and okay, this is how I should try that. Let me try that. And it works. I'm like, okay, you know, and I put out there what has helped me, not to say you're doing it wrong or you should do it this way. I just, you know, sometimes I don't give a shit about your feelings. I just care about the snake you just bought. And I come across as an asshole because I'm more worried about your snake than you are. I'm sorry, you know, sorry, not sorry. But it's so much stuff I've learned that I just feel like, man, these guys told me this and it helped so much. Now I got to put it back out there. And I think a lot of that kind of gets lost on Facebook because it's typed words. So I can, if I was talking to you face to face and I'm like, man, no, you should do it like this because this, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. But then when I type it on, why are you being an asshole? You know what I mean? And it's
intent is completely lost.
Yeah. And it's like, that's not, I wasn't trying to be a dick. I'm sorry if I came across that way. I was just saying, because I remember there was one thing somebody asked a question about their snake or asked a question about a green tree or something. And I was like, well, have you done any research? And, you know, do you already have your cage set up before you purchase the animal? Mm-hmm. And then it was just like, why are you being a dick? That's not even what she asked. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know,
it's so hard when you're precise about the information. It makes you seem like a dick, but also how do you say something over text that is like, listen, I really, really want you to like understand that I'm trying to help you here. It's just hard to get that across. And I've done the same thing. And even in like a recent Facebook thing, I was like, why are you assuming the genetics of this animal, all this other stuff? And it's like, I don't mean to be a dick. It's just, if I had the animal, this is how I'd go about it. But I don't care how you go about it. But even that one time I was like, so sorry that I put my opinion out there.
Yeah, somebody said get Barcheck on here with me.
Yeah, I kind of want to tell the story, but I don't really want.
I would
it in public.
I'd fuck that. That's just me, man. Like,
I mean,
my thoughts on people saying they'll do the podcast and not, those names don't need to be mentioned, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but the shit that Brian pulled, I think you should put it out there. That's me personally. I don't give a fuck.
Now that you said it, I feel like I have to say
something.
Oh, no, and that's not really how I feel about it.
That's how I feel. I think he's a bitch. I don't care.
Well,
I don't care. And a lot of people don't clear it up
because it's not as maniacal maybe as you made it seem.
I'm just saying personally, I think he's a bitch.
Well, no, it's just that. And I hate to talk about it because I didn't put it out in public, even though he kind of put it out in public, but without naming me. But he had asked me, hey, can I come over so I can make a YouTube video of your collection? And I was like, yeah, I really understand. I really appreciate that. Like, that's really nice of you to ask me. But quite frankly, I don't know if we exactly agree on everything. And I mean, if you could do a podcast with me, we can air all of the stuff that I want to talk to you about. I will be completely fair. I will not ever want to attack you. I don't ever want anything bad for you. I just want you to get your intent out there, because if I only put out all the shit in my YouTube videos, people may think differently of me than in this podcast, right? Like, I may seem like two different people, even though I'm not, but it's just because the YouTube videos are premeditated and this is off the top of my head. So it's like, I wanted to ask Brian the questions that could clear some air that would probably be positive to him, because we have the people who bullshit and talk shit about him. We have them here to listen, or even the Reptile Keepers against Brian Barcheck thing. Like, you could have them tune in and I would be completely fair and have him air his dirty laundry or not dirty laundry, whatever it is. But he said, no, I'm never going to do basically anything that has nothing in it for me. I feel like that's just something to be positive for your podcast. And I said, hey, man, like, I don't care anything about views. I don't care. If I cared about views, I would have been on your channel immediately, because I would take all my morals, throw them at the window and go to your 1 million followers. Hey, come fucking follow me. Come be a subscriber. But I didn't, because that's just not how you morally go about your business. But so basically, it was a few other words. He told me it would be an open conversation about what I disagree with him with. And I said, hey, like I started talking about what I disagree with him with, and then he got very defensive and then very kind of pissed off at me. And then I just stopped answering him because I wasn't going to be in some pissing match with him because it just seemed like it was a whole thing to where he played a victim eventually when he was the one who should have the upper hand because he has 1 million subscribers. I don't have anything that he needs. He has everything for me to gain, but I denied him. So he felt, and I understand that he felt very isolated or offended by it.
To me,
that I wouldn't take his approval of whatever.
And I felt like it actually did benefit him to not just do a podcast that's just directed at your fucking fan base. You were actually going to sit down with somebody who doesn't agree with you or how you do things and have a discussion that benefits both of y'all, because that takes balls to sit down with somebody who doesn't agree with the way you do shit and wants to ask real questions. And then you get out from behind that fake ass YouTube shit and get real. And it's like, okay, you know, sometimes you got to get uncomfortable and, you know, be honest. I don't think he's a bad person. I've met the dude. He's a fucking nice guy. Like he's legit nice guy. I just think the way he keeps his shit is shitty. I think the manipulation he used in that video where the suicide and crying and all that bullshit, that shit was shitty.
I'm going to start crying right now, man.
But I mean, to manipulate people like that, all your followers that's so fucked up. Just be real. And the fact that he says, you know, there are some things wrong that I got to take care of. And the followers are still like, well, they're just haters. Well, how are we just haters? If
you got to take
he's saying that he's got problems he needs to fix. Well, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I've never said he's a bad guy. He's just an asshole. I mean, but you know, towards the snakes, I should say. Like, dude, you got all these animals. There's no way they should be like they are. When people like Nick Mutton does the shit pretty much by himself and has a shit ton of animals.
But he also doesn't have YouTube videos on his shit every day. I can understand.
I don't know. It's just
I
should compare the two.
That I took that at face value, whatever. And
I think to me, it was the point of what I was trying to say was just that it would have benefited him. Because I think putting your story out there with someone that doesn't agree with you, one, it takes balls. Two, it's like, okay, well, shit. Instead, you come across as, oh, it's just about me and my YouTube likes and, you know, my millions of viewers.
Well, guess what? I don't give a fuck about your YouTube likes. I'll stay here with 5K and then you can suck my dick later because
you got 5K.
No matter what, he's old. I'm younger. He'll probably die first, so I'll win at the end. I'll have more YouTube subscribers at some point. I'll just keep on going, man. Yeah. But the disrespectful part was he posted a status when he left Dallas. He said, even though certain individuals did not, and I wish I could dig up the actual, I think Melissa may have it like screenshot or something, but it was like, even though particular people didn't want us to go over and film their collection, we met with these people, which were the people that I actually suggested that he go see. I said, hey, I'm not going to do it, but I'll give you these references to go, you know, hang out with them, and I'll tell them that you're cool. And he went and seeked out those suggestions and then made that kind of condescending fucking post about me after that, which I was a little like, all right, that's kind of childish, which is why I didn't reciprocate and I didn't put it out in public because it's just not really how I operate on shit. And then a person who is supposed to be the guest on the podcast is very affiliated with who he was, and he's been kind of fucking with me, which is just like, come on, man. Like, I thought we were adults. I didn't know that this was joined in any which way. It doesn't mean that I didn't want to make that video. It doesn't mean that I don't want you on the podcast. Doesn't mean that I don't like Brian. Doesn't mean that I don't like you. Doesn't mean that I don't stand for whatever you guys stand for, because we're all snake keepers at the end of the day. But fuck, man. Just, it's weird how that stuff, even me trying to be an adult about it, bounced back negatively against me because the people in power, I guess, decided that's what was best. But then again, it doesn't matter because those aren't my friends. My friends are here right now. My friends are Morelia people. They're all the people in the chat. They're all the people that have been on the podcast. So who gives a shit about that subsect? All that is a few different people, and they just care about their own world. And I understand their world's bigger than mine. Their world's much bigger than mine. But who cares? Maybe I'm cool being in my own world and doing my own thing, but there's the fucking story.
I think I got Joe going on accident. Shit. But I don't know. I love the people that I've met for the most part. I mean, there's some great people, and then there's, like I said, there's the assholes, and I just would rather not deal with them, and glad I don't have to. But these people that I have met, I mean, Carpet Fest has just been the greatest fucking thing ever, because I've met so many people that I would have never met otherwise. And I mean, unless I went to like Tinley and shit, but people have come down. Eric, Owen, Howard, Matt, so many of these guys came down. I actually got to meet them, and people that say come down, but then people came up, Ian, Matt Morris, Brian, blah, 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 Brian Rumbley,
Freudian slip.
You know what I'm saying? All these guys are, Jason Brumley. I met all these awesome people, and it's just like, I fucking love Carpet Fest. And it shouldn't be, we do that like once a year, and it's like, man, we need to do this more. But I don't know. I just don't have time for the assholes anymore. I used to be like, let's talk shit about this motherfucker. I hate this motherfucker. Now I'm just like, Instagram. I'm posting
and
snake pictures.
There's plenty of things that, and it hasn't gotten better since the whole thing. It's like, I don't want to go there. But it's hard because I want to counteract the points that are in the chat, but I don't really want to go in on it. but it's like, fuck, man, there's just too many things that kind of frustrate me. I just really want to make sure on my channel, at least, that snakes or anything are not a prop. There's no animal that's a prop in this video. It's me appreciating the animal, not the animal being in some way used for the video. I just want people to respect the animals. I want people to enjoy them for what they are. They don't need to have two heads. And I wouldn't go out and buy a two-headed animal because I know that the likelihood of it dying is very large, but I know the likelihood of me getting YouTube views on it are very high. Now, listen, YouTube views do not make it okay for me to get these animals that I know are going to die and make some type of publicity out of it.
Well, aren't there some that have
fucking bullshit?
Aren't there some that have grown to be adults?
Well, let me see one of those that have. You can do the research on your own. I can send you all the videos on they unboxing of two-headed animals, and we can see how many of those are alive now. Yeah. And
see, that's
I'll give you a big old fat 0% on that.
That's like we were talking about earlier.
No eyes and shit.
Yeah, that's like we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the scaleless, and they're cool. Like the scaleless corns, the scaleless balls. They're cool. Like looking at them, the way they feel, they're cool. But to me, the cons outweigh the pros in ways of keeping them. And everything you do normally with, like, say, a ball python, it changes when it doesn't have scales. It's a lot more sensitive, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like, it's just crazy that the stuff that has to change from normally keeping that same type of snake to now, because it is a defect. I mean, people are breeding for a defect, and it's kind of crazy. And it is, I think they're cool, but it's just so much more you have to do now. And I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about the ways he was keeping them. Like, you can't keep them like normal. You can't keep them on like mulch and stuff like that, because when it sheds, it can tear the skin and stuff. I mean, there's so much I was learning about them, and they require a lot of water and this kind of stuff. And I'm like it's crazy the difference in keeping a ball python from a ball python is the difference is one has scales, one doesn't. And you pay so much money for this animal, and then anything could go wrong. And that to me is just like, it's not worth it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So that podcast was Snakes and the Fat Man that just came out. I don't know who the breeder was, but super interesting on information about scaleless ball pythons. And I know there's been so much bullshit about the morph and all the other things. There's been a lot of drama, but I feel like I haven't heard from the ball python people in a long time, just because I'm not in that circle. So it was cool to hear the podcast. But basically, the scaleless snakes, they're being kept with a much closer eye than, say, your regular snakes. And I think that they're at this point, the breeder was acknowledging that there are some differences. There's definitely some hydration differences. He even put some balm on them to moisturize their skin and stuff like that. And it's, at what point is it too much? Should we just say like, this isn't a snake anymore?
But it's the care is different, because I see somebody just asked me about Jags. I've never had a problem with Jags. I don't have a problem with spider balls. They have that neuro wobble and whatnot, but that snake can still eat. It can still poop. It can still shed. It can still make babies. Mm-hmm. It's just, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of throw it off a little bit. It is a bit of a defect. I mean, but that snake can still survive on its own. You know what I mean? Like the scaleless is like it could cut itself open just shedding its skin.
But on the flip side, I feel like scaleless corn snakes with the ventral scale seem to do very well in captivity. In comparison, I don't see any issues.
To me, I didn't know there was a difference. Like I just figured it doesn't have scales. It could hurt it. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know, man. I think the Jags are. Some of them show it, some of them don't. I mean, and I know a lot of people say, "Well, I don't want to breed this Jag." Yeah, it's always there, and they're like, "I don't want to breed this Jag because it shows extreme neuro, and I don't want to breed that trait." But just because that Jag has neuro a lot when it breeds doesn't mean all those babies are going to show that amount of neuro just because the parent does. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just varies from snake to snake. Sometimes you could take two snakes that extreme neuro and probably breed them if they could find the hole. And they could produce a bunch of babies that don't show neuro. Or you could take two parents that don't show any neuro, basically none, put them together, and they produce some wibble wobbles that are just all over the fucking place. I mean, I
think the moral of the story is it's always there. Whether you can't breed it out.
But I think it's different than the scaleless. I think they're both defects, but one doesn't exactly affect the snakes,
the day to day.
Yeah, like you really have to change a lot of shit for a scaleless because it could, but I don't, the Jags don't bother me either. Whatever. I've had Jags and they've had,
and everyone has their own line, and it's like maybe, some people probably don't even breed spider ball pythons anymore, but it's the same deal with the Jag. But I mean, I just think there's enough morphs out there and stuff for us to work with. At this point, you see that Jag is kind of falling off in carpet pythons in general. I see less and less Jag all the time. Like I feel like people are kind of not breeding out of it, but I mean are going different ways with the projects at this point. But I don't know. I'm not saying that it's like wrong for you to breed a scaleless or to breed a Jag.
Oh no, it's not wrong.
It's within your own line. Yeah.
I just personally, I wouldn't do it. But somebody just asked. I just saw that question. Where to go? Can you?
And hibernate? I would certainly keep scaleless corn snakes and breed them for sure. So I'm a hypocrite if that's.
Flomo said, "Can you hibernate baby snakes, or is it just for breeding?" There's been a lot of talk in the Morelia world about diamonds because. Diamonds, a lot of people, hibernate them, cool them as babies and start doing that because in the wild, they're hibernating. Just because they're little doesn't change anything, And I know normally most folks didn't do that. You know what I mean? It's like you get them to adulthood, now they're ready to breed, now we cool them. I think it would probably benefit the snake a lot more if you acclimate, you
get a cycle
going from the time that you get it home to the time you decide to breed it. You cut that food level, you cut that temperature down, whatever it is. I think that would benefit the snake a lot because it's made for that. And I think we're changing that if we don't do that. And I know they were something was being said about the diamonds and how they were doing better. I don't remember where I saw it, but it was something they were along those lines of cooling the babies and versus not cooling the babies and stuff like that. It's a lot of that's pretty badass. But I mean, think about everyday outside snakes. Those babies are hibernating when it's cold outside. Yeah. They're doing the same exact thing as the adults. The only difference is when it warms up, the adults are getting to it. The babies are just looking for food. And I think, we should start really looking at that and doing all snakes like that.
I think in colubrids, it's definitely interesting because I know people who have had babies that don't feed and they put them in brumation for, 30 days or a month, and then they take them out and then they feed again. So it can be used kind of as a reset button, even for colubrids. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, obviously it's not necessary. I don't do it for my babies. That's just because my brumation setup wasn't big enough to fit everyone in. I may consider it next time around, but I mean, it's not necessary, at least in corn snakes. I think it could definitely help in some more animals that are harder to breed, ones that are more prone to have cycling, like something like a diamond is so precise as far as if you don't cycle it, it won't breed. Corn snakes, you don't cycle it, you can probably still get them to breed. A diamond is very dependent on that cycle. So I feel like, of course, you may have better chances with something that's cycled.
I agree. I mean, I think that's something we all should start getting into. And I think a lot of people, you just bring it home and set it up, and it needs heat, and you go through the normal way we've always kept snakes. And I think now, if you're planning on breeding that animal in the future, I really feel like that's something you should look at to start, cooling them down and putting them in brumation, whatever the temperature drop is for whatever species you have. And try to do that and see how, keep notes, keep research, because at some point in time, that shit could help somebody.
And even colubrid babies that come out small, you put them in brumation and they can survive throughout the winter just because their body is obviously slowing down. Their processes are slowing down so much, and could come out a great feeder from when it was a problem feeder. So, I mean, it's definitely scary. I wouldn't say that I have the balls to do it right now, but that's what people do.
I just think it's badass. You can fucking incubate eggs in the top of your closet.
Yeah.
That shit is so cool. Like, I just wish chondros would do some shit like that. Oh, I got eggs. I'm going to just stick them in the top of my closet.
I bet you if someone had some balls, they can balls literally and balls figuratively. You could probably put them in the top of my closet. It would just take 100 days to hatch out if you had proper humidity. I'm no Scientologist, but I think if you put them up there, and I've heard ball python people, maternally incubate and all that stuff, taking multiple, much longer time incubation. I think it's possible if you keep things stagnant, but I'm not I sure as fuck haven't tried it. I wouldn't either, would I?
Nope.
But corn snake eggs,
I wouldn't have the balls to try that.
Especially with conjure.
I'm doing everything I can do to get all these motherfuckers out the eggs. Yeah. So I don't know.
I was supposed to leave you with a good question before I pee again.
This dude opened the seal and now I can't stop.
Yeah, no, it's donezo.
What's a good question? Somebody give me a question.
Someone help.
Come on, give us a question. I'm here to talk to you.
So when do you think it will be your first breeding season with green trees?
No, that's a question. I at this moment I have an adult male Biak. I have a 3-3-year-old, 3.5-year-old Biak. I have that I'm not sure if it's male or female. I've got everything else is 2 years and under. And so either I find an adult female and I want to do Biak to Biak. I don't really want to go, do a designer. I'd love to find an adult female Biak, put it with my male Biak, and like next season, try for next season. But if I don't, I'm just a couple years off. And so, I'll try again. I tried once and almost got there and didn't exactly work for me the way I wanted it to, but I did all the right stuff, just didn't work out. I think male was too young. And
was it it was your female, right?
She was infertile, the eggs were infertile, but she had complications. Like,
she was a multi-headed.
I can't say it was one thing or the other. Yeah. She I kind of lost my train of thought. She ovulated, or she built her follicles. I was all excited. She ovulated. I was super excited, and then she went into her pre-lay shed. And so I've been talking to Ian, talking to Bill. I'm all excited. I'm taking pictures. I'm doing everything. And she had her pre-lay shed. And so I'm thinking, okay, so many days from now, I'm going to start seeing eggs. Well, 4 days after her pre-lay, she starts dropping eggs. I'm like, oh shit, something's wrong. Like, this ain't right. So I'm on the phone like with Ian, like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, yeah, she shouldn't be dropping right now. I'm like, oh my God. And so you could tell when the eggs were coming out. I was like, those look pretty fucking infertile. I was like, a couple of them looked all right. And I was like, I'm not sure. So I tried to incubate the few that came out, and no. But she dropped, I think, how many was it? I think it was 6, maybe 7 eggs, and then just stopped and still had eggs in her. So of course, I talked to Bill, and he put me in touch with a badass vet in Mansfield, and took her to the vet. They checked her out, gave her a shot, and said it should help her push the eggs out. Well, over the weekend, I think this was a Friday. So over the weekend, nothing happened. No movement, no eggs out, nothing. So Monday I took her in. She had to have surgery. So they put her under, and he was able to palpate out 3 of them. And then 3 had adhered to her oviducts. And so she had to have surgery, and basically from there on was a pet. But that's how that went for me. No viable eggs, and I was so excited. I mean, I was seeing everything else. They're hooking up. There's follicles, and there's an ovulation, and a pre-lay shed, and then bump, gotcha, bitch.
Green tree pythons are fucking.
That's how it went.
Terrible.
And I was just like, I'm very sure it was probably something on my end. Who knows? It could have been the male, could have just been her. She could have been young. Because she was 4.5. And she had the weight,
enough, right?
She had the size, but she could have just been a little too young. The male could have been a little too young. It's all kinds of things. I felt like I could have been on my end, but shit, if they did all that and apparently I was doing something right, for them to go that far and do everything that everything was in order.
The female cycle.
Everything. And so I was just like, hell yeah. And then, so, but it didn't, all it really did is, some people get charged like, oh, fuck it. I'm not.
Yeah, it's either you quit right after that.
That shit it was straight motivation. I was like, okay, I got you, bitch. Let's do this shit again. And then I was just like, but I don't have any fucking adults. Like, shit, now I gotta wait a couple years. But
just kidding. In 5 years, get back.
I got you again in 5 years, motherfuckers. But I'm sticking with it, and I can't wait, man. I'm excited to see what the future happens, and there's some. I'm loving them, man, and they're just getting better and better. And my Aru is like my favorite one of the bunch by far. Those 2 mysteries, one of them is going completely green, like it's turning green, and that other one is just yellow as shit with a bunch of green in it. But it's just crazy yellow. But that Aru, man, I love my Aru. I fucking love my Aru. So,
do you have any qualms with locality to locality? Like, what's your plan? Do you know the sex ratio?
No, I know I have a male Biak.
That's out of like 6
That's
animals.
what I have. I've got 7 green trees, and I know I have a male Biak. Everybody else they're all, I can sex them. I just haven't had it done. Actually was in a discussion with somebody, and they asked, why would I sex them now anyway? And my thought process is, I really want to do locality to locality. And I feel like if I know what I have now, I know what I'm looking for. So, why wouldn't I want to know what I have now instead of just waiting till it's ready? And now I'm all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Because let's say the one I have now is a male. Cool. So I can go ahead and go find a badass female now. And by the time he's ready, I've already got a cool female. I'm good.
Yeah.
Or, hopefully whatever, if it turns out to be female, I just go find a male. I'd rather just know now. That way, when the time is right, they're already acclimated to the environment I've got them in, everything.
You're just hoping to have a female.
I don't care. Either way it goes. I think it's easier to find adult males than it is to find adult females. But either way, I'm happy. I mean, they're healthy. They're doing everything. I'm proud of how far I've come with green trees. I'm proud of the people that have helped me and I call friends, because without them, I wouldn't be anywhere with the green trees. And I'd be making those same dumbass errors that some of those guys make. That's why I just tell them, look, man, just listen. Like, we make this simple.
It's so much more of a team effort with green trees. I think everyone's pretty willing.
Because I think a lot of these bulletproof snakes, there's ways to fuck that up.
Yeah.
It's hard, but there's still ways to fuck it up. And
people still listen to me about a corn snake, and that thing is impossible to kill.
That's because you're moving to Pennsylvania.
It doesn't even make sense, man. But you need multiple people. I mean, you need multiple heads involved in green tree pythons,
He wants my dog.
Oh, Gustavo wants your dog?
Yeah, he said I got too much on my mind.
I thought he was talking about
He
your
wants my
bull
dog.
snake because he keeps on picking up random snakes.
No, my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say that, Dan. Hell no, don't say that, Dan. That would suck balls.
That is
to have all these green
thing.
trees and they all turn out male. I'd be so pissed.
And how many? I mean, it's one thing for me to find a female corn snake somewhere, but how many green trees can you buy, even a year or two old, and trust the person that you're getting it from is going to be the correct sex, like, or that it's sexed at all? It might just be totally unsexed.
Well, that just comes into who you're getting from. I mean,
Yeah.
Honestly, there's everyday Joes that you will sell you whatever and tell you whatever. I wouldn't, if I'm looking for just a badass animal and I want to take that chance, I don't care about the sex. I just want that animal because it's badass. That's one thing. But if I'm specifically looking for a female Aru because I know I have a male Aru, I'm going to somebody that does Arus, that can tell, that knows, it's a reputable breeder, that, or, whatever. And he knows what he's talking about. He knows his animal. He's sexed that animal. Yeah. And I'm not saying reputable guys can't fuck up, but them to fuck less, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I want the designer, I'm my first design. There's a couple people I've talked to, but I really want my first to come from Bill because that's my buddy, man. And if I go designer like that blue line animal, I want my first from Bill.
I'm pumped for Mark's first clutch.
Dude,
yeah,
that's happening. The story behind that female is it was a Craigslist. Was it Craigslist? No, I think it was Facebook. I guess we should explain. This is Mark Hager from TX Chondros. And somebody tagged me in it. I don't remember who tagged me. And a guy had a male and a female green trees in the cage and all for sale for like cheap. And I was asking about the female and then kind of lost touch with him. Then he popped back up like a few months later, had the snakes for sale. And so I had messaged him about it. Got no response. Then when he finally responded, I asked him about the female. He's like, "Oh, she sold." I'm like, "Damn, okay." And he ended up making me a real good deal on the male in the cage. So that's the adult male Biak I have now. So I went and picked him up. Lo and behold, I found out Mark bought the female, and now she's gonna be a mama. And I'm like, "Fuck," because the guy wasn't even 100% sure he had a pair. And I was just like, man.
And I don't trust anyone that I haven't seen eggs out of that.
But and he's I can't wait to see what he gets because I think he put her with a real nice male. And I can't wait to see what he gets.
I'm just pumped because he's that guy who went all in on green trees without fucking with anything else. He's just like, green trees, I'm going to do it. And then once I do that, we can kind of mess around with other stuff. But it's like, he went out to do it and he fucking got a good clutch this year. And I'm pumped to see him hatch out little babies.
Definitely start them fun feeding trials. It's
like the work never fucking
everybody
ends.
Says that about, they're so hard to get started. And then I see some of these guys are like, they weren't no problems. Like they just took off. And it seems like more and more you're seeing that more and more where they're starting to, they're just taking off. Yeah. They're just feeding,
Yeah. But there's so many things going on in the green tree community.
Hey, Dan, if you hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, I can give you a list of folks. There's quite a few people. And, Ryan Burke comes to mind. First of all, him, Ryan Burke and Harlan Wall especially. And let's see, who else will probably get you like exactly what you're looking for. Somebody just had, I think they were out of the country though. But yeah, I'd hit up Harlan Wall and I'd also hit up Ryan Burke. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where Tony got his from.
Ryan Burke. Yeah.
I believe so. So yeah, Ryan Burke. I mean, he's got some nice stuff. But what was the question?
Yeah, I mean, if you really want good maniquaries, I mean, you're gonna have to get imports. Would you think? There's not many great. I don't feel like I see many locale people in general.
Well, we've talked about that. It seems to be they're still out there, but maybe I don't think there's a lot of people that work specifically with locality pairings. I mean, there's a lot of people that will do locality pairings, but they don't do that specific. It's like, oh, okay, well then that following year they'll take a Maniquari and mix it to a Biak Aru. You know what I mean? So it's all designers and stuff like that. I do want my designers that will keep my designers and maybe mix them here and there. But generally I want to do locality pairings, Aru to Aru, Maniquari, Biak. I want to be
Kofia.
Man, I could only wish. Yaping to yaping. You know what I mean, all kinds of, and I get excited about that. And that's I was so excited about these mysteries because I bought them as Cyclops. And then the older they were getting and stuff, people were like, I don't think that's a Cyclops. I'm like, don't fucking tell me that. Like, I got them to pair them up to each other, and they're not Cyclops. And I'm just like, they're not Cyclops, but they could be outcrossed. But I don't know. They look very Maniquari-ish, both of them.
But there would just be no telling.
But right now, they're just mysteries.
Badass green trees.
Now they're just mysteries, and that's if I breed them, if I'm able to ever breed them, and I breed them to each other, it would be mysteries. They're simply green tree pythons. That's all I would label them as. It's not a this or a that. It's not, well, this could be in there. I wouldn't even say all that. It's a mystery to a mystery, and that's what you're getting. You're getting a green tree python. And that's what I would sell that as. I wouldn't ever try to be like, oh, it's possible Maniquari and possible this. I'm not sure, but I think it's this, because then people
someone will call you fucking,
and then they'll be like, well, you sold me in a Maniquari. No, what I said was, no, you said. See, that's why I'm not even going there. You're getting a green tree python. That is
Captain
what this
Born
snake
and
would
Bred.
be.
It's already a high price tag. You get what you get. But I mean, you're gonna get a fucking awesome snake. But Mad Bios said, obviously, we haven't directly imported anything, but you've worked with, and you believe kind of in working with import green trees in a sense.
I don't see anything wrong with imports. I mean, a lot of people, I don't think they need to be brought in the way they bring in ball pythons,
right? To
where it's just you're cleaning out the forest. That shit doesn't.
But
need to
once
happen.
They're here, and the care,
a few, you get a few here and there that are new bloodlines. Okay. Some of them, I don't think they need to be imported 24/7. But if you get imports, I don't see anything wrong with them. A lot of people are like, well, just buy captive bred. I'm all for supporting, local breeders and everything else. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with imports as long as the measures are taken to take care of that snake, take it to a vet, get fecals done, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people, it's funny to me, I see a lot of people that would knock imports, and I would only buy USCB and blah, blah, blah. And then Nido came out, and now I'm looking at you like captives. That shit's mostly seen in captive bred populations, unless it was, your imports came in and then your snake got sick like that. But it wasn't something that just hit imports. And so I'm kind of looking like, no, well, you can trust USCB all you want to. I'm going to trust that import right about now. But either way, no matter who it comes from, if I get a snake from Bill, I'm Bill 100% trust Bill, 125%. You know what I'm saying? I'm still taking a snake to a vet, just because that's the thing to do. Get these snakes checked out, make sure there's no underlying problems of any kind. And then
someone's fucking around. No, it's the pine snake. He wants to get out and bone some females. He's a fucking psycho.
I don't know, man. I there's nothing wrong with imports. I love all my green trees, and I think all of them, I would call them imports, except for the two mysteries, because I don't think they're imports. I think they're USCB. I just don't know what the fuck they are, because I think they're highly across as something. But like I said, I would never sell them.
But you're not going to be like F2, whatever.
Because when I originally tried to sell one, I was like, oh, this is my Cyclops Mountain type. And I'm so glad I didn't fucking sell that animal, because I'd been like, you bought it like I bought it, and thinking that's what it was. And it's like, fuck. Then I feel like I did you wrong because I sold you something
but
that
you
it wasn't.
Gave all the information.
But I'm so happy that nobody jumped, and now they're looking at it, and we don't know what they are, but they're changing so nice. Everybody's like, oh shit, like, that snake's looking good, and I'm like, now it's staying. Fuck you. You should have got it when you had it for sale.
Yeah. And I mean, for me at least, you can't tell exactly a locality, obviously, just from looking for an animal, but there's something that's clearly a Biak.
Oh, some of them.
That's a Biak.
Yeah, so you could tell a Biak when you see it. Yeah. I mean, there's certain localities, I think you look at them and it's like, that's a Biak. You look at them and that's an Aru. some of those, you start looking at Maniquaries and when Jaipur and they all kind of come out of that same area, that's when it starts getting kind of sticky. And then you're looking at tails and
if you have to go that far,
yeah, then it's suspect. But Biaks, you can pretty much tell a Biak. The only thing I think you could confuse a Biak with is I think it's a Yapin. I think that's
you lost me, man.
Other than that, it's same kind of body structure, but them Biaks got that big dragon face. Like you see a Biak, it. That the way those nostrils turn up.
If you don't know it, put your hand in there, then you'll fucking really know
For
it.
real. But the way their face looks, they got these big heads, these long kind of snouts, and then their nostrils kind of turn up on the end. It looks like a fucking dragon. And they just look so different than if I take pictures of my Aru and take pictures of his face and then take pictures of that Biak from like a side view, you can see what I'm talking about. They look like different snakes. And it's crazy.
So do you know the differentiation between the northern species and the southern species, where that cuts off what localities fall where?
I've seen it.
Because I don't, I haven't memorized.
I haven't memorized it.
Because like Brandon was asking whether you prefer northern or southern, but for me, it just all breaks down to localities no matter what.
I like blue.
Yeah, I just
want bright lime green. That's what the fuck I like. North, south, east, west, northwest, north, south. I don't care. North, south. That's not even
the old north south.
The old north south. But I just as far as like whether it's Azurus or I don't know the difference. I've seen it, but I don't. I'm not even trying to lie about it. Like to me, it doesn't. I just like what I like, and I want to do localities. At some point, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, these are this and that. When I decide to worry about that, right now, I'm just trying to get my shit old enough to do something with, and make sure they're healthy there on their way there.
At a certain point, you're just like, let's raise them up, let's keep them alive, and
then I'll worry about who's from the north and who's from the south. Shit. But yeah,
for me, it would just be
I'm still learning.
Kofiau or nothing if I had to get another green tree. Or I would just get a fucking emerald, a base. If I can get a base and
okay, I don't like boas. It's not that I don't like boas. I'm a python guy, and it's funny because a lot of keepers that keep snakes, it always you can kind of tell. It kind of seems like there's this python side and then the boa side. There's a few keepers that like both, but generally it seems like either you like pythons or you like boas. And I fall on that python side.
One camp or the other.
Man, like I've always said, I'd never have an emerald. Look at those fucking teeth. And I'm starting to see these emeralds getting posted by fucking Ian and Forrest.
And he's going deep on Corrales. Ian's got all the annulets.
And I'm looking and I'm like, those are kind of badass. And I would pretty much keep them the same way I keep green trees. And I'm like, fuck, I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, I don't like boas, but that's a bad looking motherfucker. It's like,
yeah.
And then you be scanning through Instagram and you see some guy holding it all crazy and you see those fucking teeth. And you're like, I think I'll just stick to my green trees. Like those teeth, man, that's some intimidating shit. And if you have not seen the mouth of an adult emerald tree boa with its mouth open, they're not even teeth. They literally have fangs, top and bottom, just no venom glands. Mm-hmm. It's fucking nuts. And it's like, hell no. Even an accident, man. I saw somebody get bit by an emerald and that thing was 3 feet long and you wouldn't think it would do the damage it did. That dude bled like a stuck fucking pig. I'm good.
But if it was a basin, those things are chill and there's nothing to worry about from what people say.
Yeah.
From hearsay.
I've had chill snakes that are chill and then all of a sudden one day they just have a bad day.
But dude, a basin with a thick white stripe down it, and to me, that's
I'm just trying. I'm purposely trying to not like them, so I won't get one.
Yeah. You can keep on trying to convince yourself.
Fuck them teeth. No, I don't like boas. And then you're gonna come over one day and be like, this motherfucker got an emerald in here. But like the Amazons, they don't do nothing for me.
People overlook Amazons.
They're pretty. They're pretty.
I kind of forget I have one.
That long, slender body. I don't.
They're too easy to keep though. They're so cool, and it's just. They're kind of mindless. No one cares about them, so just bring a level of respect to their ridiculousness. And I mean, they're just fun to keep, man. So what is Brandon asking about the differences?
Oh
in
yeah, they're talking
patterns
about scrubs.
Oh, okay.
That's where you lost me. I don't know shit about
Yeah,
scrubs.
yeah, I know.
I know they're pretty, and I know they bite hard too. That's what I know.
That's my. If I could, I usually just like a plain old bar neck with some good pattern down it. But since I talked to Scott and the Moluccans,
see, I've never
a good yellow.
What does Matt have? Yellow. If y'all know Matt Wells, he's got some, and he's got a couple that he got, and one of them I think he got from Dave.
Yeah,
and that's the only time I've ever really checked them out. You know, like up close and personal, checked them out, and they're cool looking, but you can tell there's something going on behind those fucking eyes. Like it's kind of like with retics, king cobras, scrubs. There's certain snakes that when you look at them, you see the fucking wheels turning. Like you see that snake thinking and figuring shit out, and I'm like, I don't like that. You know, like I don't.
If he has one bad thought,
like you're thinking kind of crazy right now. It's like, go ahead and open the top of this cage and watch this shit. Like you could just see those wheels turning in his head, and they're learning and they're watching and they're being patient. You know, it's cool. I think it's very badass that they're smarter than we give them credit for, but there's something about looking at a snake and knowing that snake is thinking and shit. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And it's like Brandon said, they seem to have a good vision to them, and they do kind of lock onto things visually and will fuck with you.
Very. And Dan said Antaresia wheels will jack you. Look, I had this little finger biter. Actually, on the podcast that Dave did, he was talking about the one that kept eating his fingers. He got that from me. And this is my first feed response bite of any snake I've ever had, was this little fucking Antaresia I had. And I picked it up.
Or spotted?
I think it's a spotted. I don't even remember. I'll have to ask Dave. Shut up. But anyway, I picked it up and I'm holding it, and it turned around and it just grabs my pinky, and I'm like, okay. And I was just thinking it's just going to let go. And this motherfucker started to swallow my pinky, like literally started working my finger down. And I'm like, oh shit, he's eating me. Like, what the fuck, snake? Hold on. So I had to like literally kind of pry his mouth open, pull my finger out. And he was trying to swallow my fucking pinky. And I'm just like, that's crazy. The Mantaresia or something else, man. They're just like, they are some finger grabbers. They want to eat your fingers for real, but they're cool little snakes. They're
it's like the cow king of the Australian world.
Dude, no shit.
And I mean, those would be just the most perfect pet you could ever ask for. Isn't it? I don't know why I don't have them. I don't know. I saw, what was that? Pinnell had some children's, a different like granite children's or something.
It had to be a children's because it was an in-pen line.
Yeah. And it was just like, wow, this animal has crazy pattern. If this was any other species, people would be jumping all over it. But no one seemed to give a shit. But I was like, I love this little thing. I guess that goes for corn snakes. No one really gives a shit either. But
you know what? Now I'm saying, look, you got me talking about fucking boas too. And I'm sitting here. I don't like boas. And the only other boa, badass little boas, they're little fucking sand boas. Sand boas are the coolest shit ever. And if you've kept them, you know, I had them in sand. And everyone's like, you should keep snakes in sand. Dude, it's a fucking sand boa. They live in this shit in the wild. So I put in fucking sand, okay? And it do its little thing, you know, and these motherfucking trimmers. Dude, you put a little, I fed them live. I drop a little hopper in there. Mouse is just running around on the sand doing his thing. And all of a sudden you see that sand just move a little bit. And you never see the snake, and the little mouse would run by. And all of a sudden it's like fucking trimmers. It would just shoot up out the sand, grab this thing, and then just back down it goes. I was like, oh.
Wait until you go to pick up a piece of shit, and then it comes up and fucking attaches
on your finger. Like, yeah, I had that happen. That shit's funny though.
And I love rosy boas too. Those are like the colubrid of the boa world. As far as
I've seen them, I've never really.
I've heard they're buddy too.
I wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't know either. But I mean, they come in some cool colors and some cool fucking pattern variations and localities and shit.
It's half full.
Someone's
that leader's going 2 hours strong.
That's true. You drank a tremendous amount of Dr. Pepper to not put a dent really in that leader.
Well, I had Dr. Pepper on the way over here. I gotta kind of slow myself down because I've been drinking a lot of Dr. Pepper.
Slow yourself down on that Dr. Pepper, man.
And see what happened is I wasn't even drinking that much Dr. Pepper. I've always been like a Pepsi Mountain Dew person. And I started fucking with Ryan. And I was over there, Ryan Sullivan, Ivory Connection.
Fucking Ryan.
No, not fucking
Ryan.
with Ryan.
Oh, okay.
And I was over there with him, and that motherfucker put away some Dr. Pepper. And so that's what was there. And I started drinking Dr. Pepper.
Said you're gonna piss a stone.
Yeah, dude, I gotta. But see, I've heard that, but I've drank Mountain Dew Dr. Pepper my entire fucking life. It's not good at all. It's probably why I always feel like shit.
The
like
fact that you're not like 500 pounds is excellent, though. Good for you. You have a hell of a metabolism in order to get all that shit down.
I'm kind of. That's just good eating, man. Wife can cook. But yeah, I need to drink a lot more water. I really do. And then I'm like, I don't really like water, so I'm like, I'll just drink Gatorade. And no, I need to drink water. I just need to shut the fuck up and drink water. But man, right. Dr. Pepper's good. It's like 23 flavors or some bullshit.
There's 23. What does that even mean?
Fuck if I know.
Can we break that down?
Well, it's a bunch of bullshit that's not good for you, but it tastes great. So I drink the shit, but yeah, I need to get off of it.
It's all right, man. We've all got our things.
Like I even have a shirt that says I drink Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Coke is good. Yeah. That's great. Some shit you can take and pour it on your battery in your car and it just eats all the fucking erosion up. And it's like you see it do that. It's like, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna drink this while I'm at it. Like, dude, it's fucking melting the shit off your battery, and then you just drink it. Like, fucking shit's crazy. Fucking podcast. See what I'm talking about? This shit is great.
Yeah. We got when you get off on fucking Dr. Pepper, that's where it all goes. What are your plans for you going to any shows or anything this coming, or does Ryan have any shows you can take?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him lately. Oh, I take that back. I talked to him yesterday, but
I haven't talked to him lately.
I just be so because I'm Instagram takes it. I'm always on Instagram. Then I've been fucking around with the little music thing, making the music. No, I don't really plan on any shows. Probably NARBC is gonna every now and then I'll go hit up a Lone Star when he's venting just to hang out with him and Andy and a couple other people I know, maybe meet up. But I don't really have any plans to do any shows. I'm just waiting on next Friday. Is it or no, this Friday?
What's next Friday?
This Friday. Yes, date night with the wifey. We're gonna go out to dinner. We're gonna go see Jurassic World.
Cool.
That is cool. We're gonna go see fucking Jurassic World. I'm sorry, I get amped up about Jurassic Park. That's like my favorite shit ever. And now we're gonna go see Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom. Brought to you in part by Sun Theater. No, I'm
about to go to Alamo, get some unlimited popcorn and wings, and watch it. Alamo Draft House. There's one right here in Lakewood. It's like a restaurant.
Oh, they're gonna have it.
It's like a restaurant where you can get drinks, you can get food, you can get whatever.
Well, see, we're going to we're gonna go to AMC 30, but she got it. It's got the sound. It's the Dolby. Okay, let me explain this. This is how we found out. We went and saw on our anniversary, which is 420. We went and saw Super Troopers 2. Okay, that fucking movie was trash. It sucked. It just lived off the first one. So while we're in the movie, she's looking at me. You could just see it on my face. I was not liking that stupid ass movie, and it was lame. The first one was hilarious. The second one was lame as fuck. So don't waste your money. We're sitting there, and she's on her phone. She's like, "Baby, I know you want to go see A Quiet Place. It's playing after this movie, but it's at the Dolby place, at the Dolby Sound or whatever." I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck the difference is. There's a huge difference because it's all about the sound. And so everything's loud. It vibrates. The seats are so it was awesome seeing that movie. And then they showed a trailer for Jurassic World. I was like, I want to see Jurassic World in the Dolby Theater. And she made it happen. So we're going to be there Friday watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in that Dolby shit. I'm excited. I am, man. We're gonna go out to eat. Got a babysitter,
dude. That's like.
I was just kidding. She might be watching.
I guess
I better stop. I better quit. She gonna kick my ass.
Yeah, you're gonna right in the theater like a savage.
No, not
there,
at the
you
theater.
sir. God.
Oh, when we go home.
I mean, the fact that you need to plan this far ahead for one movie is
It's not
quite
for the movie. It's a
appalling.
date night. Have some kids. You'll fucking
Yeah,
understand.
that's what I'm
Hey, if you got
saying.
kids, tell this motherfucker. You gonna plan far in ahead because you gotta find babysitters because you're gonna be gone this many hours. You got to know exactly what time you're going to eat and when that's gonna be done, so we can go see the movie. What time we're gonna be home to pick up the shit.
You're like, I swear to God,
Hey.
in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have 2 hours of a movie I'm gonna
Tell
watch, then go right.
We
home.
planned this shit last month. Okay, had this shit planned last month, and we talked about it, and she was like, "Okay, made it happen." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And so
because I know Super
We hadn't
Troopers
even-
2 came out
Oh, it
like
was
3 months
trash.
ago. Dude.
it came out on 420. It was trash
Oh, there you go.
because that's my anniversary.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
What does it have to say?
We got married on 420.
It's also Hitler's birthday. You fucked
give a
up.
fuck about
individual.
Hitler.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck Hitler.
Crazy statements said here.
But yeah, I just
What are we
fucking Jurassic
doing?
World, man. I can't fucking wait.
I don't even know. I haven't even seen the fucking trailer for it. So is it Jurassic Park? Even though there was already Jurassic World, so now they're going back to Park.
No, it's Jurassic World.
Okay.
It's Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom,
Is it like Chris Pratt and shit?
Mhm.
Yeah.
and Dallas Bryce Howard,
Don't know
hot
who
little
that
redhead.
is.
It's actually Ron Howard's
Oh,
daughter.
is that a female?
Mhm.
Dallas is a female.
You didn't see Jurassic World?
I did, but I didn't.
She was the main chick,
She
the
was
little
the
redhead.
lead? I don't remember, Dan.
Oh,
It's Ron Howard's daughter.
yeah, I didn't know that, but it is.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, sound does change everything.
I get fucking. I get super panicky when it's like super loud, man.
Really?
It, like hurts my ears. You know, like that shit. It's
Like
a weird thing. that I
Gunshots
have.
and shit. Freak
I don't
you out or
like.
something?
I don't like being in loud noises and shit. My ears are sensitive, you know. They're big. They pick up a lot of
This
shit.
dude.
I don't know. That's just me, man. But whatever.
Yeah. He's like, 4th of July, I'm gonna be
You
huddled
don't
in a corner.
understand.
Stop the fireworks.
You ever see like those where it's like, don't just light off fireworks whenever. There's people out there with PTSD who would understand or who are afraid. Well,
4th of July and fireworks has existed
You
for
should
a
be-
really long
you should be
time.
pretty certain that there's fireworks coming.
Yeah, you should already know. I mean, it's not like anybody's new to this when it's July 4th. Like, oh shit!
But I
fireworks.
don't need PTSD to
Oh,
realize
shit.
that they
Look at
fucked
that!
me up.
Look at that!
Oh.
Look at that!
Who's
Hey, shout out to NPR, man. I just happened to turn and see the calendar on my wall. You know that pretty chondro for the month of June.
It is.
That's Negan.
I don't know if it would show it.
You
No?
probably have to take it off. And
Yeah, way to go.
just grab the fucking calendar. hey,
Hey man, if it's that important to you,
I was proud, man, because I've been trying to get in that calendar for the longest. And I
if
made
people
it.
don't know,
I was so like, if you heard that
Evan's-
episode,
Evan's picture of his green tree python.
that's Negan,
It is,
which is actually it's a Biak, but that's the one I think is a female.
Oh,
It's supposed to be a male, but I think
Is
it's
it
female.
changed all the way yet?
It's pretty green, pretty much still an asshole. That's why its name is Negan.
Vegan, and that's a,
Motherfucker.
what does that even mean?
You apparently aren't a fan of The Walking Dead. I'm
Apparently
sure there's
I've never
some-
seen it, yeah.
I'm sure there's some Walking Dead fans in here who know exactly who Negan is and why I named that snake Negan.
Is Negan a bitch?
Negan is
Is
fucking
it a
nuts.
female or a male?
Yeah, if it turns out to be a female, I will change the name to Lucille. Definitely. See, we got some Walking Dead fans in here.
Oh, guy on the left. What's your YouTube? You're funny AF.
Guy on the left. You're
I'm
on the left.
guessing. No, that's a mirror. It's a mirror. He's seeing you on the left. I'm
Oh, okay.
assuming. I don't fucking know how this comes across.
I actually do. I've got a YouTube, but I don't have any.
Check him out
podcasts
on
enough.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram at Carpet Cartel. And
He'll go
actually,
live for your
I've got some
ass.
old videos up on YouTube that are like just my collection and bullshitting that I used to have, and
And I
there's
guess
some different shit in there.
if
Kaboom
no
Vipers,
one
all kinds of
knows
shit.
like who we are, like Evan just lives like 5 minutes down the road from me, and Evan basically comes in every single time something goes wrong with the show. Someone doesn't.
not
show
every
up.
time. There's a couple
Or
times it was like,
we've
hey,
had some
let's have you
premeditated
on.
Evans also.
And then it's like, oh, somebody backed out. I'm on my way.
But it's like someone's like, oh, who is this guy? It's like
Just keep it rocking.
he's been here. there was a time where Evan was like every other episode because we sucked at booking shows.
I'm an elaborate smuggler of fine Oriental carpets.
The Carpet Cartel.
That shit's funny.
Which
right
is
there.
also, by the way, we share in common the fact that we have a name that makes no sense with what we work with.
Hold on. Fuck you, Dan. You said play the B team. That's motherfucking A team, sir. Damn. That's it's fun. Why don't you have Dan on?
But you should be. I honestly, I see Dan all the time, but I'm not 100% who Dan is. I don't know if I have his Instagram or anything like that.
I don't know either.
It's
but
weird
every time I
'cause we
see
have-
Meyer, he's funny as shit.
We have like these just personalities in the chat who I now know Brandon and I know obviously Gustavo because they've been around forever. But Dan pops in and I don't really know who he is as a person.
Makes some awesome ass comments though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you find me on Instagram at Carpet Cartel. Fucking, I'm so proud of that. You don't even know. Eric and Owen, dude, I'm so proud of that shit, man. Like if you listen to that episode of NPR when they announced the calendar winners and I called in, dude, I was losing my shit. I literally was like on the verge of crying. Like I was so fucking happy. I was just like, I've been trying to get in and I'm in. I was so excited. This shit was funny as shit.
I've been entering too. I wasn't as lucky.
Man, I've been trying. I was just like, what is, and I mean, especially chondros, dude, when you see these pictures that are going up, like Mosaic is in there and Honey and all the Jackpot, Sickness, all these badass fucking chondros are going up. And I've got a picture of this fucking Biak import named Negan. You know what I mean? And it's just, but I take pride in my pictures. I don't like to do those basic kind of tub shots or it's sitting on PVC. I've got those kind of
motherfucker.
pictures,
you don't take tub shots because you have chondros. They're the easiest motherfuckers to take pictures of. Hold on,
because the tub shot they still sit on PVC, and I don't even like that look. I take them out and put them on. I made a light box. It's all black, and I had like a real branch in there, and I put them on that shit. And then I'm in there with the lights, fucking with the lights, dude. Like if you look at my Instagram and look at especially those pictures that Aru, I'm entering that shit. That picture. I'm so proud of that picture. That's my favorite picture I've ever taken. And I worked hard for those pictures and it's hard, man. But even like people take pictures of ball pythons, any snake, it's not as easy. Even though they just sit there and they ball up, trying to get that great shot is not easy.
We're going to have you take pictures of the corn snakes. You pick one of those fucking things up,
spastic motherfuckers.
They're fucking gone.
I found what you got to do is you got to set them in the light box and get you a little bowl, and put them in that bowl and then leave them alone for like 10 minutes.
It needs to be like a settled period.
You got to have your camera and shit ready. And as soon as that bowl, I suggest doing this in a 2-person team. Have the camera ready and be like, all right, baby, grab the bowl. And when she grabs it, click, and then you get a bunch of shots to try to get in there because then all of a sudden it's going to start.
And then he's lost in the room somewhere and you'll find him in a month.
It's hard to get pictures of certain snakes, man, but it's fun.
Even carpets can be hard.
Carpets, retics, all that shit. I mean,
anything but ball pythons.
I think ball pythons and chondros, they're just gonna like chondros. Actually, I've had some trouble. I've got a couple of them that they wouldn't sit still.
Yeah,
they would. They're on the branch,
once you touch them, they start moving around like.
And they wouldn't sit still, and I was getting so frustrated. And I'm like, dude, sit still so I can take this picture, and I promise you'll go back. And then I'm up here, I'm moving lights around, trying to get this. So I got the light in one hand, I got the camera in the other, and I'm doing all this moving around, and I'm trying to get this shot. And I probably take on each snake, I'll probably take easily 100 pictures before I find 2 pictures that I like. And it's just part of it. But I love taking pictures, man, and working on my camera shit. And fucking that shit was that was the greatest thing ever, man. Like I said, shout out to NPR because that I just fucking love it. I was in the calendar.
I mean, the sickness is the year before, so
yeah, I can't.
That's a pretty high bar.
Yeah, so that's
if anyone doesn't know who the sickness is, I guess do.
I'm not even going to tell you. You don't know who sickness is.
Figure it out. But I mean, just getting fucking that I guess goes to say that chondros, you need to have a higher quality, and ball pythons also. You better have good pictures, or else people will know that you have shit pictures. It's easy for me to stand out with corn snake pictures because there's not many great pictures.
And it's also good to have like your picture quality matters. Like even if you just want to just taking pictures, if you're trying to sell a snake, picture quality matters. To have a good fucking picture that really represents that animal, it is it's a great thing to have.
Yeah. And that is a nice jungle.
Yep.
But so, Brandon sent us a picture of his jungle. But it's so important when you see too many people with, there's just an air of unprofessional.
Open the tub, take a shot. It's half-ass blurry. Yeah. There's a bunch of random weird shit in there with the snake. It's like just really take a badass shot. Take time, take that. Even if it's with cell phones. Hey, I've got pictures posted that you would have never known. You
all
thought
my
I took
pictures
that shit
are with cell phones.
It's badass pictures. You just take the time to get a good shot. But most of my real good pictures are all on my camera.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like to have one of those like down at face level shots where you can actually see the snake, and then above also, which is going to show all the pattern and everything, because the personability is in the face shot and like the actual snake itself, and then the actual what people like us care about to see in snakes is in that overhead shot with all the colors and everything. So I just like to take two.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, check them out. Like I've got a ton of pictures on Instagram. I usually post, snake pictures and pictures of my kids, and every now and then some funny ass meme.
You really just post random shit.
Not too random. I kind of have a where I stay, like hood clips. Hood clips is the funniest shit ever.
World
man.
Star and Reptile Report.
No, it's right under World Star, because World Star has some funny stuff, but Hood Clips it's hood.
Hood clips,
so it's hilarious.
Level.
But I like the thing I shared earlier. If you go look at it, you'll see it where it's the little baby. And he's kind of sitting there, and he's got this little stuffed animal sitting in front of him. He's like, and then the thing goes, and copies him. The baby just like starts crying and was like freaking out, and he just starts crying. And then all of a sudden, the baby stops crying. The little thing just starts hollering. The baby like really freaks out. It's fucking hilarious. The shit I find funny. I don't know. Hood clips.
Yeah.
But yeah. See, you know about them hood clips. But yeah, man.
Hood clips.
Follow me on Instagram. Look, go find it on Instagram, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Hood clips is hilarious. I mean, some of the comedy shit they post on there, the crazy made up videos and the real life drama crazy videos, that should be hilarious.
Yeah,
but hell yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to talk and do fucking this at the same time. And I gotta pee too, so I'm trying to.
This dude's pissed more times on this episode than any episode ever.
I've been there.
I watch him. I ain't seen you piss that much.
Oh man, you just can't notice. I'm usually sly with it, but it's hard.
Usually, I guess if it's just you and Melissa, you might have a bottle down here. You're just talking.
Yeah,
it looks like you're just having a conversation, peeing in a bottle.
Hey man, that's a consideration at some point.
Dude, girls. I don't know, because me and my wife talked. This just went way off. We were talking one time, and we were talking about playing, video games and shit. And sometimes you're playing a game. You guys know how it is, and it's like, fuck, I can't get up and go to the bathroom. I'm gonna get killed, and I just Gatorade bottle it up. I got a Gatorade bottle, and I'm playing the game, peeing in a Gatorade bottle. Wife was like, "What the fuck? Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's the benefits of being a guy. Girls, y'all can't do that shit. I mean, if you can, I don't know, but." I just do what I got to do. I don't feel like stopping to go to the restroom. I'm going to just fill up this Gatorade bottle.
0 time. You should do that 0 time. I can understand like driving down the highway or something.
Yeah, and look, somebody just said road trips too. Yeah. Dan said he tried to put a urinal in his basement. Dude, I'm surprised more guys don't have urinals in there as an option in their house.
Oh,
like, oh my God, to walk in there and not have to hear, you need to lift the toilet seat. Why do we always have to lift the toilet seat? Why don't you put?
It's the same amount of movement to lift up.
I'm sorry. Why don't you put down? Why do we always have to put I just got it all ass
Why don't you
backwards.
put up?
Why don't you put it up instead of us always having to put it down?
Yeah.
Like shit, then there won't be piss all over the fucking toilet seat. Like sometimes in the middle of the night I gotta go. I'm not really worried about where I'm pissing. I mean, I'm not pissing on the floor. I don't think.
Maybe the garbage.
But you know, it's shit. Shit happens. And I mean, I'll leave it up. And why don't you put it down? I'm like, how many times have you lifted it up for me?
Why is it our responsibility to exert the extra effort to put it up when they could exert the same amount of effort to put it down? Even less, because you just let it drop.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Just tip it with your finger, it's gonna fall.
We've officially gone off the deep end. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on? Besides the bathroom debacle, of course.
Shit, this has been a good podcast. Shit's all over the place.
Yeah, we've gone 2
this.
hours 16. So
they said take the olive python out.
I mean, if you really want,
he's been drinking. He's gonna get bit, and I'm gonna die laughing.
No, the olive python's good. I mean, it's right on there in the bottom. Yeah.
What's up, Dixie? Tell you don't want to go to Philadelphia.
I can do the. I can cut
Pennsylvania,
the fucking audio off, and well, let's end the podcast, and then I'll bring some shit out.
So how does that work? If you're going to end the podcast, they're not going to see it.
No, I'm going to keep that up. I'm just going to take the recording down.
Oh, so okay, so they won't see. They won't hear us, but they'll see us.
No, they'll hear us and see us. It's just that it won't be on the downloaded version that goes out.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So people randomly everywhere won't listen to us fucking around with Tubbs.
Okay, I got you.
And fucking around with Dixie, what you're doing.
I'm fixing to fuck Dixie.
Everyone
I had that much beer.
Everyone heard it here. Too much Mountain Dew.
It's my buddy.
All right, so thank you guys so much for listening. For those that are on download, and give us
another crazy episode. Check me out, Carpet Cartel. Hood clips at Carpet Cartel on Instagram, Carpet Cartel on Facebook. That's all you really need.
World Star.
No.
I'm Port City Python. Port City Pythons. PortCityPythons.com. Port City Pythons on Instagram. Port City Pythons on Facebook. Everywhere. Port City Pythons. This is Dixie signing off. I wonder if you could hear a sniff. We're fucked up. That's it. Right? Did I miss anything?
Brought to you in part by Dr. Pepper.
There you go. Bring it out to the doctor. Later.
I love you, Brian.
Oh, no.
Fucking don't care.
I can't believe I thought Melissa was texting me that we put the story out there. I shouldn't
even be talking shit about that dude because I don't really know him like that. But he bugs me. The way he fucking doesn't take care of his shit just unnerves me. And then plays victim about everything.
I know him, and he's
fucking cocksmack.
He's a gem.
I'm sure he's all right, dude.
No. He's definitely a nice human with nice intentions. He's just
an asshole. I just want to cut that ponytail off. Yeah. Can they still hear this?
Yeah, they can still hear this.
Whoops.
I thought you knew that, but you were just...
Dude, I kind of zoomed out. Fuck it. Hold on.
Asshole. There's a process. You don't just stick your hand in there. It's like with the counting, but with more. All right, so this is an olive python. No, you're good. She's good, but it's just going in there.
I hear you. So, yeah, they're pretty, man. Even for being a brown snake, they're still pretty. I don't know. They really do it for me.
I just I don't know. They move around. They're cool. They kind of think. This is a water python. If you guys have never seen a water, same genus. Water.
You're fixing to move out. You're going to get it right. Water. They're snake eaters, right?
Yeah. I mean, mostly the olive, not so much the water.
Oh, great. So you pull that one out. So
No. She doesn't. I try to feed her snakes. She doesn't eat them. But yeah, there's an Australian water python, Liasis fuscus. Oh, Brandon's on top of it. But basically got the iridescence of a white lip at the very least, but probably even better. But they're called water pythons because they're just found by the water in Australia. But the Aboriginal people call them rainbow snakes because they're iridescent. But yeah, the owl's from Australia also.
You smuggled this?
Right from Australia, yeah. Via a Swiss zoo in 1975 or some shit. But all that means is smuggled just for a zoo, which apparently makes it more legit for whatever reason. But water pythons aren't usually this fucking chill. And dude, Gustavo, your mac's already as big as that olive python. That olive python's like 3 years old. And I feel like your mac's like a year and a half.
Damn. Feed that motherfucker.
Or like a year. I don't know.
Rabbits.
But as far as their care goes, I just do 85 on the hot spot. 74 is my ambient. I do that with all my carpets, all my liasis, all my Australian stuff, besides green trees. But yeah.
Hey, are you still on here, Ryan? I don't know what you are on it says I'm watching.
Ryan who?
Sullivan.
Ryan Sullivan's on here?
Yeah, that was at 6:02.
Oh, Gustavo said he's only feeding his Mac a small rat every 3 weeks, and that's just a giant ass Mac, man. But yeah, my water python, this is about 2.5, 3 years old. It's basically a corn snake. And it's chill as fuck, which is just not normal. As it bites me or something.
Tell him you want to watch him play with his jungle.
Who, Brandon?
Nah, anybody.
Oh, play with my jungle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Crazy.
I think we're good. Waters would go for like $200 to $250. Pretty much no one wants besides me and like 2 other people. So they're kind of cheap. But they're and they're not all chill like this. But if you work with them, I mean, they can be kind of chill. All liasis are super fucking crazy when they're babies, but they get more chill as they age. And if you work with them, some of them will always be psychos, but 50% of them maybe chill. Kind of like my cow kings.
Yeah.
But I would get some Max, or I dig Max or Timors. Really
Timors look like a cross between a scrub and a retic.
Yeah. Without all the shit, piss, and biting, I guess. I guess you could do without that stuff and just get a retic or a Mac or a carpet of any sort. But yeah, this is really it. Anything else you guys wanted to see since we're doing this shit?
I'm checking out Instagram.
I don't know what you're doing.
Because I got a bunch of people requesting all of
Should you get an olive? You probably should, but it's also a pain in the ass. And now, Brandon, you're being an asshole because you're asking me to take out the pine snakes. And I know that you being an asshole, but I'll take them out.
Are you gonna light your ass up this one?
They're not gonna hug me.
So they're not gonna hug you? That beard game, baby.
Oh, this girl's in such shit. Where's my hook? It's in the other room.
Strong. That's a big ass fucking dude. Just pulled out like a 6-foot python hook. It's a big ass. Woo! She sounds pissed. How dare you touch me?
Yeah, is there a Louisiana pine? Here's that Louisiana.
Watch out, bro! Why is that shit in my face?
Oh fuck me! Oh fuck me! Ah!
Does she bite?
She doesn't not bite.
As he put it in my face. Oh,
I
yeah,
wish we could bring the camera down here.
Oh yeah, she's on fire right now.
Oh, I'm trying to work this thing. But yeah, I wish it looked better. Put on some light.
Woo, she fucking stinks.
Yeah, you can smell that musk though. So I know you guys can't smell that, but it smells absolutely terrible. But yeah, it's pretty much a rattlesnake.
That shit is strong.
Right?
And when I say strong, I mean strong.
But I mean, they're their own thing. I mean, it's really an acquired taste.
It's an acquired smell too.
Yeah, it's also an acquired smell. She would be a little bit more chill probably if she wasn't in shed, but she wouldn't typically bite me, but I mean, she wouldn't not right now.
Just get in there. Damn it. This is great TV right here.
This always happens.
Do it for the YouTube likes.
Alright, that's harmless, right? We don't have to get bit. That's a sweet snake.
Yo.
You don't know how bad that fucking smells unless you're here, though.
It straight up stinks for real. If you've ever gone out and caught a snake in the wild,
that's pretty much as close as you can get to a snake that has all of its wild fucking instincts, you know? There's nothing else that is like... It's one thing to catch like a corn snake out in the wild, and it's totally different than something that's in captivity. And that goes for a lot of the species that we have in captivity. That's a snake that's captive born and bred, and is just as bad as a snake that you catch off the side of the fucking road. Which is something I like about it, but it's also something that makes this room smell right now full of fucking
It's
moss,
strong.
dude.
It is straight strong.
But anyway, I guess we'll end it there.
I gotta go fishing.
Gotta do something. Later, fellas. Thanks, Brandon, for me getting that pine snake out. Wasn't too bad.